Welcome, everyone. This is the Ins Justify the Memes, the show where the lowest of the low, that is the most wretched of wretched and deplorable to end all deplorables. Two white heterosexual Christian males from the American South. We talk about philosophy, history, health, fitness, and what it means to be a man in the 21st century. I'll be your host, Bill, and this is my co-host, Mr. Hank. With us today, we have guest Big Nick, and of course, our friend Yizz the Eunuch.
Hello. So technically, it's 3.5 white Christian males, I suppose.
three and a half. Are you 3 3/4? Anyways, guys, so crack open a beer and lend us your ear because the ends always justify the memes. Sniper says we are late and gay.
We were just a little bit gay on that one.
We were chatting.
It's always a little bit gay with me around. You know that.
Mm-hmm. We're late and super straight.
So Nick's been making the rounds with, this kind of circle of YouTubers we all hang out with, and, we do our stuff. And I thought, I should get Nick on the show and I should let Nick tell his little story that he's been talking about in case some people in my audience don't know who he is, and he can shill his channel. His links aren't in the description. I didn't get them in there yet today, but they will be later. But just, YouTube search Big Nick and you'll find him.
You might not find me, so
no, there's a lot of Big Nick out there. I made that mistake when I tried to find his channel the first time.
Well, even if you search the Big Nick show, you might not even get my channel. So yeah, you might not even find me, but it's fine.
Well, you can put it. I'll tell you what, man. I will get you in the chat one way, I will get it in there one way or another. Give me a few minutes. In any case, Nick, you had an experience at a local school board, and I wanted to give you a couple minutes to explain that before we did our regular Memecast news. So, floor is yours, bud.
Okay, so basically, I had gone to a school board meeting. This is like the second or third time I had gone to basically just talk about mask mandates and whatnot. And when I was there, I was harassed by multiple people there telling me I have to wear the mask no matter what. You have to wear your mask, even if you're coming up to speak, you still have to keep the mask on over your nose or you're gonna get kicked out. During the meeting, I had dared to pull my mask below the nose, and I almost got escorted out by a police officer at that point. And then when I was done, after it was my turn to talk, I came up, said my little thing about how stupid all this is, and basically how they're abusing children and whatnot. And then after that, I had pulled my mask down to talk. Right after that, they got the cop up. He dragged me out of there, escorted me out of the building, and I got kicked out. So, just a little rundown of the story.
That is something. And here you are. Now, I thought I was subbed to you. You see, that means that YouTube unsubbed me because I know I was subbed to you, brother.
Hey, dude, YouTube has given me so much crap over. I've only been doing this for like a year, and I've gotten so much crap from YouTube.
I mean, it was bad when me and Bill started like a year ago, and it's only gotten worse. My
channel all -1 is constantly losing subs.
Yeah. This ship is sinking.
And of course,
I hit about 2,500 subs right at the beginning of the November election last year, and because of my coverage and what I was doing, I rocketed up above 3,000, and I was climbing, and then all of a sudden, all of my video analytics went nosedive. People were getting unsubbed. I wasn't getting recommended. People subscribing to me stopped getting notifications. Then they started going into my videos, removing videos without warning, taking away hashtags on them. And ever since I've been suppressed, I have not changed almost at all in 9 months on YouTube. Even though I've constantly been making content and engaging and doing streams with people, I've gotten like maybe 20 subs, 50 subs in 9 months. When I was on a steady incline, and then all of a sudden they just gave me the axe, and now nothing. So I really do think it's almost a dead platform for people that make our kind of content.
Yeah,
Cookout represent. That's how you know you're from the South when you see somebody slurping on a cookout cup. It's got cheerwine in it.
Hey, go get me one of Daddy's Dr. Nuffs.
Oh shit. Dr. Enough.
That was some deep lore there, son.
Yeah, that's few know of this.
I'm not a Southerner, so I don't get your Southern.
Yeah, well,
I mean, it's not even all Southerners. This is a very East Tennessee, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina.
It's like an Appalachia thing almost.
Yeah, yeah. Cheerwine and Dr. Nuff and old Beach Gum. I remember that too.
Peach gum. Oh my god, that's a throwback. Anyway,
it's enough of me. It's enough of me and Tank being old men together.
Outside of Little House on the Prairie, there's a world.
Well, speaking of which, the whole YouTube thing and whatever, I'll bring this up real quick. You guys, if you're watching on YouTube, there are links in the description if you wish to donate. There's an Entropy stream. We are also on DLive. We were on Trovo. I refuse to be on Trovo now because they've kicked people off. And one of those people is a friend of mine. That's Matt Christensen. And Matt is a outstanding individual. And I can't understand for the love of me why they would do such a thing. So screw them. In any case, I did start a new channel called Dystopia Now. And it's me basically archiving a lot of stuff about, the New World Order and all that fun stuff. But I also am doing streams over there on Sundays at 5 p.m. Now, I'll be in character, so it's going to be a little bit of a different thing. But if you guys want to join me over there, I'd appreciate that very much. Of course, you can also find me over on All-1. And I'm not doing anything there for now because I'm trying to wait out a strike I had. And that way I don't get my channel yeeted. And it was one of those strikes, like we were just talking about the dead platform thing, one of those strikes where they didn't tell me why. I appealed. They never even looked at my appeal. The strike I had before that was 2-3 weeks before that. I appealed that. I won. And 4 days later, they struck the same thing again. And I appealed it. And they said no. So that's YouTube for you. But yeah, it is the bigger battleground. So I'll stay on here as long as I can. And somehow this show is bulletproof. Bulletproof. I don't know how.
What is this? What category do you put this show under? Do you put it under news and politics, or do you put it under comedy?
I don't know.
Because if it's under news and politics, if it's not under that, then it's probably why they're not paying attention.
Just under entertainment or something. I don't do all the things all the other YouTubers do about, trying to work with the analytics and whatever, because I don't think it matters. I'm all about word of mouth. If people like me, they like me. It's that kind of thing. So
it's under tutorials.
It's under tutorials. All right. With all that said, guys, let's get into the meme cast news.
I didn't have that. Hold on. Sorry.
Imagine that. Oh man! Now I'm screwing up, right? Didn't have my first meme up. I have an excuse though, man. I've not got more than 5 hours sleep in the last 5 days, so there you go. Yeah, and not good sleep either. So hopefully the show will be still just as fun, and I won't get mush mouth at some point.
I think something's going wrong with your mic. Does anybody else hear that?
No.
Okay,
I think your internet's jacked up, dude.
I'm getting like a lot of fuzz from something.
Well, you shouldn't be getting no fuzz. You're married, son.
I didn't mean fur pie, but yeah. All right, whatever.
Anyways,
I just live with it.
I'm not going to say any more unchristian words tonight.
When you're trying to cut back on posting memes, but the government won't stop doing crazy stuff. It's me every day. Every day. And so if you guys hadn't heard, this is hot off the presses. YouTube blocks all anti-vax content. So from Reuters, YouTube will block all anti-vax content, moving beyond its ban on false information about the COVID vaccine to include content that contains misinformation about other approved vaccines. And this is just ridiculous. But that's cool because in 100 years from now, we'll just it'll be the COVID vaxxers will soon be cannibalizing the purebloods. And it's all YouTube's fault for suppressing the truth.
Yep.
And in breaking news, common sense is now an endangered species. Stupidity has taken over the world, and unfortunately, there is no known cure.
I mean, there is a cure. I just can't say it here.
Yeah, if you want to keep a YouTube channel, you can't say anything.
Well, did I cut out there for a second?
Yeah, I heard you. I thought.
Yeah, we heard you.
Everything's going to shit.
I didn't hear Nick. Who knows, man?
There's so many boomer problems. What is this?
Can you hear me?
SFO's Twitch? What is this?
Can you guys hear
Where's
me?
Don at? It's Don.
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you, Nick. Yeah. I can hear everybody. For a minute, I was hearing a bunch of like buzzing, but it's gone now, so I don't know.
It's probably me. I probably brought a curse.
Since we're all having some issue, it's StreamYards itself.
They banned Don on Trovo, Bill.
Yep.
They banned Don on Trovo.
I thought Trovo was going to be like the one that everyone was migrating to. That was like the thing to go to for a minute.
I made a Trovo, but I didn't really like it.
I didn't see. I watched Don stream this morning, but I didn't catch the beginning of it. So,
yeah, he said that
I watched Don stream in like 2 weeks. So
I also missed the first part. That might be why I heard it in chat later from somebody because I missed about the first half of it. Well, I shouldn't say half. It was about 10, 15 minutes.
And yeah, I mean, it's just going to keep ratcheting up. So all of us need to stand up. It's just the bottom line. We can't keep putting up with it. And what we have going on right now is the ineptocracy, a system of government where the least capable to lead are elected by the least capable of producing, and where the members of society least likely to sustain themselves or succeed are rewarded with goods and services paid for by the confiscated wealth of the diminishing number of producers.
This
isn't anything new. So.
There is an actual word for this. It's called bioleninism.
We're bringing some bloody shovel references out.
I was about to say is socialism.
Well, I mean,
by any other name, it's still socialism.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that the effect that led to this is bioleninism, like biological Leninism.
Right, and the same effect that led to this, it's exactly what we have. We have 60 years in government, Dianne Feinstein, 40 years, 45 that is, by Schumer, 47 by Maxine Waters, 54 by Patrick Leahy. Biden's been in for 51, and Nancy Pelosi, 33 years. They blame Donald Trump, who was in office for 3 years. And didn't get much done, really. I mean...
I would even take it a step farther and say it's not just problems that they haven't solved. It's problems they all created.
Oh, they're actively creating it. That's why they kept saying we need to get our democracy back on track, because when they say our democracy, they mean our oligarchy.
Yep.
And that's what we actually live under, folks. We live under a fascistic oligarchy.
For $7.77 USD, B Hayes 82 has said Trovo is asshole.
Trovo is asshole.
Trovo is asshole.
Speaking of oligarchy, there's this new guy that I followed recently that released a really good video about the differences of governance and how really there are only 3 types. I highly recommend it. Bill might know him too.
Oh, over on Dystopia Now?
Yeah, that's a good channel. Thank you for recommending that to me.
Yeah. Yeah, big bother. He's watching, guys. He'll bother you at any moment. So, under President Trump, the Democrats used the filibuster 314 times. So if the filibuster is racist Jim Crow or Jim Eagle, then how can you explain Democrats' record-breaking number of filibusters?
I can easily explain it.
I mean, yeah, it is fairly easy to explain.
Because there's a lot of fellers around where I grew up that you turn back the clock several decades, they was we'll just say they favored wearing white and hoods.
Oh God.
Yes.
All Democrats, by the way. All Democrats.
Yeah.
Yep, Democrats and democracy. Not that I like democracy anyways, it's pretty cringe, but
yeah.
But I mean
their only principle is really power. We all know this.
So I've decided I don't believe in black pills, right? I don't like this term black pill, but I do think any information that we glean that demystifies exactly what's going on, some people call that a black pill, but I think that's more or less for the better. So when you see this, like the Democrats break these memes, the Democrats breaking a filibuster, being hypocrites. If you can point people to the direction that it's not about hypocrisy, it's about hierarchy. They're doing this because they can. It doesn't matter, all this shit about, morals or whatever. None of that. They have the power, so they're going to do it. The more people you get on board with that, I think is going to be better. Even though some people's going to call that a black pill. Racist. What?
It's Osis. He's messing with you.
In the wise words of John Doyle. Democracy is cringe. Just read some Aristotle.
Yes, read Aristotle. That's right. Yeah, it's interesting because they pretend like they have no power. They blame the Republicans all the time. Not like the Republicans don't help them out. Of course, they go hand in hand with each other. But it's interesting how they play the victim game while they own all of the institutions.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the point. Because they can. Yeah, that's what I've got a lot of like normie conservative types at work, and they're really big on the Newsmax and all that kind of thing. And they just have this dumbfounded look on their face anytime they read a headline or something from Fox News about how, the Democrats said this wasn't going to happen and now it is, insert whatever subject it is.
Yeah.
And they just look at me like, I'm like, they do it because they can. It doesn't have anything to do with any of this. I'm trying to drive that point home, but they still feel like if they point out Democrat or liberal or whatever hypocrisy, that they're going to like recognize their hypocrites and change. And this is fairy tales.
Yep.
Watching that part of V for Vendetta where the government creates a virus and uses it to seize power over its people.
Oh yes.
I've actually never watched the movie, but I did see some scenes from it recently, and I was like, "Hey, that kind of seems familiar,"
Yeah, it's a good movie. It's well made, and I like it. I think it's good. It's got
despite it being from the Wachowskis, yes, the transgender filmmakers.
No. Since they did that stuff, you have to refer to them appropriately now. It's the Wachowski faggots.
Okay. Well, I'll let you say that. I mean,
I'm allowed to, right?
Yeah, you're allowed to say whatever you want, Yizz.
No, I meant because I'm special.
Technically, the way I believe, at least. But yes, the left's greatest weapon, the COVID virus. Nothing has done more for the democratic socialism anti-capitalist movement since Adolf Hitler. And speaking of which, where is our news media all about this? Well, they did the same thing back in the day. The New York Times printed Nazi propaganda that Poland had invaded Germany, and the journalist who wrote this won a Pulitzer Prize for his efforts. The New York Times that was Jewish-owned, mind you.
Oh, who? What? Oh, what a surprise! Does anybody else know this? Does anybody else know this?
I actually didn't know this. So.
They of course hit the death camps and all kinds of other stuff they had heard about.
It's okay, Nick. You're young. You'll get there.
I'm also retarded, so.
So, and to put things into perspective, right, a much better perspective, U.S. tax revenue. What the hell is that's $1 trillion, $2 trillion, federal budget $3 trillion, almost $4. New debt is 1.5. The national debt is 14. The recent budget cuts 38. Let's now remove zeros and pretend it's a household budget. Annual family income 21,000. Money the family spent 38. New debt on credit card 16. Outstanding balance on credit card 142,000. Total budget cuts so far $38. It's true though. And they'll raise that debt ceiling, folks. It's going to happen. And they will get all their bills passed that they want to get passed because the Republicans are cucks. 90% of them at least.
If there's
in
one
fact-
thing that my paying attention to politics for the last 15 years has taught me, in America, Democrats have no conscience and Republicans have no spine.
Yep.
Or I was gonna say balls, but okay.
Well, even some of them that are
yeah,
a little
there
bit-
too.
right. Some of them that are a little bit more bold. They do
That's
interesting
because-
things. I watched Josh Hawley the other day talking a clip talking to Instagram about why they aren't doing something about the crisis of the 30% of girls that feel bad about themselves because of Instagram. And I'm like, why is the government? This isn't an issue of government. This is an issue of parenting. Why is
Well,
the
that's
government
because the
trying to-
government wants to be the parent now.
Yeah, yeah. But that was Josh Hawley, who's usually pretty good. So, not saying he's the best, but I'm just saying he's certainly better than many of the other Republicans. What are you going to say, Tank?
I forgot.
Good. Don't you ever talk again on this show.
Quiet.
And here we have Klaus Schwab shaping the future of the fourth industrial revolution. This is Tank's favorite stuff, actually.
Well, the Industrial Revolution and its consequences have been a disaster for the human race.
You should go sub to
Human-
my channel because
Human species. We've been over
Yeah.
this. Human species.
I was reading the old manifesto over on Dystopia Now. What was that? Are you playing stuff now?
That wasn't me.
What?
It was Tank.
No?
Yeah, I heard
something come through.
something.
What's going on tonight?
What
Yeah,
the
that
F?
was- I heard something, but it wasn't me.
Whoever our CIA caseworker is listening in on us and fucking up their system.
I don't know if someone has the stream open and they didn't mute it or something. Because I thought I heard myself echo. I don't know.
I only have entropy open.
Yeah,
Tank.
that was me when I refreshed entropy. It might have
Oh, yeah, okay.
it might have shot a snippet of the sound from it before I paused
Okay.
it. It could have been
yeah.
me.
So, well, that messed up my flow because I was going to go from this to the hills are alive with the sound of BS.
Oh
Of
my
course, they
god.
have the two parties in America aren't Republican versus Democrat. It is you versus them.
Someone on Twitter had a nice throwback about how back in like when Bush was in office, whatever year that was, how all the Democrats talking about they're going to march Bush to the Hague and shit for war crimes. And then, like you see shit like this, and you're like, you guys were just fucking around the whole time.
What moron would think that after George Bush came out against Donald Trump this past election, and then just recently, right? 'Cause
Well,
we had
he
9/11.
might be a war
Said that the
criminal, but at least he's
Capitol-
not a fascist.
Yeah, he said
Yeah,
the
no, but
Capitol
also-
insurrection
go ahead,
was
Bill.
as bad as 9/11. Come on.
And don't forget that rotten snake right there in the middle, that little monkey man there. And no, I don't mean Obama. G.W. Bush looks more like a monkey than any black man on earth. I'll stand by that till I die.
Oh god.
Little monkey man G.W. Bush, he called all of us patriots domestic terrorists. All of us. People like
Well,
me and
where's
you.
my Toyota Helix?
It's like, what's that old meme that we shared a month or two ago? It's like when you're labeled an extremist, but the CIA still hasn't given you money and funding and weapons yet. Remember that?
No one gets recycled on the show every couple of weeks or months, so it'll show up again, I'm sure.
It is like my favorite meme of last year. It's definitely in the top 10.
It's really good. Yeah, I love it.
And of course, the people that do stand up, how many times do I have to tell you they're building a tyrannical police state? Probably as many times as I do. You know
Who's that
what?
guy in the
Joe Rogan
background?
kinda got it.
As soon as you give politicians power, any kind of power that didn't exist previously, if they can figure out a way to force you into carrying something that lets you enter businesses or lets you do this or lets businesses open, historically, they are not going to give that power up. They find new reasons to use it.
I'll do that.
We have to protect those freedoms at all costs, whether you agree with people's choices or not, because it is the foundation that this country was founded on, freedom. This idea of freedom, there's so many people that think it's frivolous, it's not important, it's not the main thing that we should be focused on, but it is the literal structure that allows this country to be so fucking amazing. every single country that's ever existed other than the United States. Up until 1776, every fucking country that has ever existed was run by dictators. All of them. This is the first experiment in self-government that actually worked, and it created the greatest superpower the world's ever known. It created the greatest cultural machine, the greatest machine of art and creativity and innovation right fucking here. And how did it do that? It did it through freedom. And as soon as you see something, anything that comes along and inhibits your freedom, you should be very cautious of that thing. You should be very suspicious. Because anything that comes along that can inhibit your freedom is, by definition, anti-American.
It's by definition tyranny.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about that video? Because I saw it yesterday.
I have some thoughts if you'd like me to share them.
Yeah, go ahead. I was just wondering.
Please do.
This reminds me of what I've talked about several times about weaponized patriotism. Nationalism and patriotism are easily weaponized to wield people and populism as a weapon against the oligarch's enemies. We've seen it all throughout the Brother War era. And these messages, while inspiring, are just as easy to misuse as some of the great speeches that Ronald Reagan gave. Because I don't think Ronald Reagan was a good man. I think he was a stooge that was used for establishment evil, and the NWO basically started under him. And I think that as inspiring and as important as this message is, I am dubious about the purpose of it, because I feel like, I don't know, I'm always skeptical when people like Joe Rogan, who, you know, they come from where they come from, they're worth a lot of money, I'm always dubious. Always dubious.
I think Joe Rogan means well, and I think he believes exactly what he said. He is, however, I agree with you, absolutely fucking wrong. There's this weird idea of like American exceptionalism that I don't buy into. I don't think. I think that there's probably a lot of places in history that if we were to transplant ourselves to, we would be better off. Outside of, even before 1776 or whatever. So this idea that everyone was just beat down forever throughout all of history, and finally George Washington crossed the Delaware. Now everyone has 13-inch dicks and they're like living the good life. It's
ridiculous. And that's why I said it reminds me of the propaganda that led us to the Brother Wars, because you heard the way that he talked. It was like, well, you know, the great Spanish Empire and the French. And, you know, the literal 2,000 years of Switzerland's history and the British Empire, you know, all that was dog shit. They didn't have real art. They didn't have real culture. No, Joe Rogan. No, that's false.
Yeah,
and look, we only became the superpower because globalist money wanted us to, because they needed us to use Israel or to build Israel. Like that is why. It's just,
well, we became the superpower because we were able to mobilize enough an industry to win the Second World War. That's why. And I don't agree with you at all about Reagan being the one who started the NWO, but
the phrase was popularized under his speeches, wasn't it? Isn't he the one that started popularizing the phrase?
I don't know that Reagan did. He say it?
Or was that the first Bush? Was it Daddy Bush that started?
It was the first Bush. Yeah.
Okay. Then I'm sorry about that. It's a haze of my childhood. I'm sorry.
Sure, but the Republicans didn't want to even let him in, and he had to let George Bush Sr. in.
Okay, all right.
So, but
my bad.
Still, I don't think Reagan was perfect, but neither was Trump. But I would have take either one of them right now than what we've been getting. And yeah, as far as like, I always say the first neocon president was really Nixon.
Yeah.
And all the plans, see, we got off the Bretton Woods standard around the same time that we opened up China. And I think all the plans were put forth around then. Interestingly,
wasn't the first shitty trade deal that started cucking us to China under Nixon?
Right. But the reason why we did that is because they want to stop industrialization in the United States, because this is all part of their stupid, crazy Malthusian death cult mindset. And so again, guys, go over to Dystopia now, because this is the stuff that I will be posting videos about or talking about when I make video content there. So, and of course, anything I do there myself probably will just be live. But what I'm trying to do is create an archive if you would, of stuff. And I'm not saying everything I put up is 100% accurate, but the rabbit holes for you to go down to understand more, right?
Right.
So
I thought the video was fairly, well. The message behind it was I agreed with most of what the message was behind it, and I played it on my stream yesterday with Yizz. I was just wondering because someone else came to me after the stream and was like, you should probably edit out that beginning part. It was kind of cringe. I was just like,
well,
whatever,
I mean,
dude.
it's I don't think, like I said, I don't think it's cringe. I think Joe Rogan is a Gen X guy who, like I said, I think he means well, and I think he believes everything he said. And I don't want to find cringe in genuine belief of people. But I think that,
yeah, Josh is right about that.
I think it's a pretty shallow interpretation of the world.
Yeah.
well, most people have a shallow interpretation of the world.
And again, my warning about,
and that's why I can't really fault him. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, and like I said about weaponized patriotism, I'm very dubious when there's strong political patriotic messaging about our country is the greatest thing that's ever been. Aren't we great? We have to keep it from tyrants like that. That's the same marching orders during all the brother wars for like 80 years.
Every war. Yeah.
Malthusian death cult.
Yes.
That's mine and Yizz's grindcore band, if anyone
Yeah.
Put
hear it.
3 videos today.
If you want to hear some slower music, I have my private blues band is the Jim Jones Blues Explosion.
Yeah, I put up like 3 videos today about that specifically.
Okay.
The environmentalist movement and everything else, and
Mhm.
you can look into it yourself. These people write books. Echo Science, the one book specifically, the guy wrote. I can't think of his name off the top of my head because I'm too damn tired. But he was in both Obama's cabinet or was appointed as a czar or something like that, as well as Clinton's. So, and he basically believes there are too many people on Earth, and we have to be called, and we have to deindustrialize, and Tank would be happy about that. So,
well, I don't know. I mean, we'd probably die if we did it at this point. So it's kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah. In any case, let's keep moving. We got all kinds of memes.
Oh yeah, go ahead. I'll shut up.
What were you gonna say? Good.
I was just like any deindustrialization that a country is going to go through is going to have to be heavily thought out, or it's going to be a shit show.
Well, that's the problem is the thinking out and the central planning. If things don't happen organically or grassroots, it's always destructive. Bottom line.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean that there doesn't need to be organization or hierarchy in the grassroots either. It just means that, top down doesn't work very well. It's oppressive. Bottom up works way better. So, and it's far more protective because it's decentralized.
And I think most of you watching are you guys know that I'm sort of, when it comes to socioeconomic structuring, I'm sort of in the Bill's camp of minarchism and localism, because I don't think, no matter what someone's intentions are, I don't think giant, massive bureaucracies that wield militaries are ever good for anyone. I don't think that at the bottom, at the ground level, it ever helps anybody. I think it only works in service to the oligarchs.
Yeah, I always tell people I'm a classical liberal, and the best way you could look at me as a classical liberal, because there are different thoughts in classical liberalism, is go read Bastiat's The Law. That's my political belief summed up. So, and most people have never read The Law. So, and he makes every single argument there possibly is against socialism, nice and succinctly in about 50 pages. So, in any case. Pfizer board meeting circa 2019. We have a brand new marketing strategy. Force. And trust me, bro, my buddy's a cop. Most of them are on our side. They aren't going to enforce any tyrannical laws.
I think earlier on a stream today, I described the police as soulless mercenaries that are hired to wage war that is, what did I say? Wage war that is unpalatable for the oligarchs.
Yeah. This is exactly why I I felt like I got stuck at the sheriff's department because I separated, divorced from my ex-wife and all, and had full custody of my daughter, needed that steady pay. But I never moved on from the jail and to patrol because I never wanted to have to enforce laws that I thought were morally objectionable.
Yeah.
Because personally, I think if you want to go do heroin, I don't think it's good for you. But if you want to go do heroin, it's your body. You should be able to do it. So, I mean, and yeah, I know. I know heroin addicts cause troubles. I put a recovering addict up in my house some years back. So,
well,
trust me, I understand.
The point is, it shouldn't be some bureaucrat and some hired mercenary's job to police your personal life. That's up to you and your family.
Yep. Absolutely. And here we have, what are you doing? Saving you.
This artist is great.
Yeah.
I've been posting stuff like this. I've been posting stuff like this all over my Instagram, especially because I've got people coming to me telling me about how you just need to wear the mask. It'll all be fine. Just keep doing it, and eventually it will all end. And I'm just like, dude, like, shut up. Like, just shut up, dude. Like, I'm done. Be quiet.
Do you know what a 99.97% survival rate means? It'd be a lot cooler if you did. I mean, that's the way it is. It's like, I can't believe people don't understand this yet.
Yeah.
But again, I think we talked about this on Discorded Dragons on Monday, Yizz, that most people are just brainwashed, and we saw from the beginning who was going to be liberty-minded and who wasn't. Now, don't get me wrong. I think more people are waking up toward the side of liberty as they are increasingly not able to work and other things. But guess what, folks? That's all engineered because our economy is meant to be crashed right now.
Yep.
Why do you think even under Trump's reign, the Fed print out so much money?
Well, not just that. Even under Trump, like, this is one of the reasons that I never, quote unquote, believed in him. Is he talked about the fake news, he talked about the suppression, he talked about people getting deplatformed, et cetera, et cetera. He refused to use power, executive orders, and focus to shut down Silicon Valley or to put in sanctions on them or to do anything that stopped us from getting to the point that we're at now. And I understand people that really love Trump are like, oh, well, he was hamstrung and he couldn't do A, B, C, D, and E. There are other things that I won't go into now about that. But I just, oh, yeah, here's a good meme. I'll be quiet. We can move to that. This is a great meme.
I mean, it's on screen. I don't think anyone's listening on audio, but who knows? Sometimes people are working and stuff. But yes, I was just following orders. Absolutely. And yeah, just following orders.
Keep your rifle by your side, ladies and gentlemen.
Who sneezed?
Oh, no.
Oh, no. It's the sneeze patrol.
And of course, we cannot allow a single life to die, right? If we can just save one life. No, you don't understand. Bomb Syria. If it saves one life, assassinates Haitian president, then all the COVID mandates are worth it, starves Yemen. So you can stop talking about funds Palestine genocide, the economy. Yeah, it's crazy because we don't care around the world, and people are blind to this too. I know my brother-in-law, we were having a conversation a year or two ago, and I mentioned something about the U.S. not being that moral in its actions either. And he's like, are you saying that we're like the other nations? And I'm like, no, I'm saying we're probably worse. Not all of them, not like China, but hey, we're not exactly the good guys. It's a myth, folks. We're literally the leaders and the heads of a global government. And that's all we are. And that's about to be stripped away purposefully. The message from the UK to our friends across the pond: never, under no circumstances, give up your Second Amendment. I will be the first to admit I didn't understand why you held on to it so much. I apologize. I was wrong. I completely get it now. And,
thank you, Ryan Rowley.
Yeah. Well, I know we got some good based Englishmen around. thought I saw Kizza in the stream earlier, but
Mm-hmm.
maybe
Well, there
I
are quite a
didn't.
few based bongs I talked to.
Kizza did tell me he was supposed to be working nights, so. But yeah,
No, he's actually working mornings. He's asleep right now.
Well, yeah. That's
Yeah.
that's yeah. He had messaged me about a meme, and I was like, I already got it, buddy. It's already going to be in the show. So, but that's always appreciated, guys. If you do have things to send to us, I don't know. Tank, is our Discord still linked? Do I have? I don't even know what's linked in there anymore. I don't have the YouTube stream pulled up, so
I don't either. I don't know. Probably,
what the
maybe.
some producer you are.
It doesn't look like there's a Discord link in there.
It's because like no one's in it, and we haven't showed it forever.
I like this one.
I figured
Yeah.
we had got banned from Discord by now.
No, because no one's in it.
I'm
got
on like my
Holly-
8th Discord account. They yeet me all the time because I
Yeah.
speak the truth.
We get like Holly, Kizza, and Matt in there. I think that's about it. But we don't ever shill it. We're bad about all that stuff, guys. We're more just about the show. We're just about doing the show. So,
Look, guys. This is the best you're getting out of me.
yeah, I know he's got a full-time job. I mean, I got a family.
I show up
Every
here and
other
look
thing I'm
pretty. What
into.
else do you want?
Yeah, come on.
I even shaved.
You're lucky we
today.
didn't show up.
Yeah.
2 weeks to flatten the curb. Now it's 3 jabs to feed your family.
Well, you
Yep.
know.
That reminds me of a tweet I made a week or so ago. I said I posted a picture of the one of the concentration camps in Australia, and I said we went from 2 weeks to flatten the curve to papers, please, and concentration camps in 1 year. Do you think it's going to stop?
And I just want to remind everyone, they're building right now concentration camps in the U.S. for COVID stuff. So,
Oh yeah,
and just a reminder, they're building these things. They just started building them. They won't be done for years into the future.
Yep.
So it's never going to end. Let's just put it that way.
Well,
oh
I mean,
it'll end. It'll
if you're
end all
lucky,
right.
like me, you're in West Virginia, and you know that your local sheriff won't enforce any of these things, and you live in a 2A sanctuary county. So I'm not that concerned with it. But obviously, there's people needing supplies and all, and that's the next thing that they'll start to go after. We do have a thing in a bit about some news on that front as well when it comes to jab mandates, but we'll get there.
And remember, Susan, since I know your ear is at the door, all of us here on this channel love vaccines. I get vaccinated every week. I love them.
Oh, yeah. I
got vaccinated.
We,
twice
we
for
all
breakfast.
support the jab, and we love it. I mean,
I
we have jab parties all that. Even my dog has a vaccine.
I eat vaccines for breakfast. Okay.
There you go.
My chud Trump dad was like, get a job, and I was like, I'm gonna get a jab, and I did twice.
Yeah,
this
my
morning.
parents were kind of about it, and I said screw you, and I got the vaccine anyway because that's the kind of person I am.
You can't tell me what to do.
Yeah, screw authority.
This
You're
Mel Gibson
gay, I'm
account is
pure blood.
hilarious, by the way.
Pure blood in the house. I'm a super straight, pure blood, white, heterosexual Christian male. Ladies, I am married though, so
I'm single.
you got your 2 shots. You're still wearing a mask, and nothing's changed. How stupid do you feel? You don't feel stupid at all. Why? Because you're stupid. Really effing stupid.
Yeah.
Kind of like this stupid. You have to take the vaccine so my vaccine can work.
I like the little blender brain. That's good.
So
I haven't
actually
seen that one yet.
I said something earlier while I was talking to this dude on Instagram, and I asked him, I was like, so he's gotten the vaccine, and he's still wearing a mask. And I'm like, so what happens if after I get the vaccine? Well, you might still have to wear a mask. And I said, okay. So that's for everyone, everyone who gets the vaccine will still have to wear a mask. Yeah. So what you're telling me it doesn't end. He just didn't say anything after that. I'm like, it's not hard to understand, dude.
Baby face. I like that.
Oh,
Oh, that's sweet.
don't
Howdy,
pick on the
Ingram.
Zoomers. Don't pick on the Zoomers.
I told Nick if he came on the show, we would rib on him mercilessly, and we have yet to do so. He is 16, and therefore he needs to be hazed into manhood.
That's correct. That is correct.
Just it's the way it goes, buddy. But maybe
I mean,
we'll get there.
I turned 17 last week.
Although I do appreciate his 1950s young father haircut.
Yeah, he's got the JFK cut going on.
Yeah, he does.
Do your parents know you're here right now, young man? Do they know what you're doing?
Oh, he
I do
also
know what I'm
almost
doing.
has a young Uncle Ted haircut.
He kind of does have it. You can.
They know that you're talking to internet extremists, these liberty-minded folks. They want people to be free. Oh.
It's like, do your parents know that you're talking to a bunch of people who love the founding fathers and think that the law should apply equally to everyone, regardless of his race or religion? Like, do they know that you're talking to such horrible, scary people?
Bigots.
Exactly.
Bigots. Don't cough on me, bro. I think this is where the majority of the boomer style Republicans are at. I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know? Maybe some libertarians too. I don't know. We must be careful not to confuse following the science with following the scientist. Science is objective and factual. Scientists are often sold out to the highest bidder who supports them. That's very true. I wish Aiden was here so she could fact check this, but
I was going to make that joke.
I do need to see if I can get her on an evening stream. I know it's tough for her, but
Yeah.
Whatever. I'm talking.
But that's a whole bottle of autism you just pop and it spews like a champagne cork.
Oh, she's my favorite flavor of autism. She's
fantastic.
a delight.
The last
I
show
love
I
it.
did with her at All Minus One, as she joined me over there, I was like, Aiden was just on a tear, and I was just like, all right, I'll let you talk. It makes my job easy today.
She's like my autistic see and say of factoids. I just pull the string and I hope it lands on something that's on topic because it sure is delightful no matter what it lands on.
Ooh, I like it. I like it.
Nick, a
Seraphim
see and
Goose.
say is an old toy that old people used to give to their kids. I know you don't know what that is, but it was a plastic.
I know what it is.
The cow says, "Mrrr."
We're just hazing you. We're just hazing you.
Seraphim Goose says, I only call the church fathers, the American fibbers,
Founders.
were a bunch of deists and Freemasons, and this country deserves what it's getting. Well, I'm a based monarchist, man.
Well said. Well said.
But
Well
I
said.
do agree that there was nefarious underpinnings behind the founding of the United States of America that most people like to not pay attention to. If you read Sir Francis Bacon's A New Atlantis, there was a vision for a new world order starting with the United States. And
it came from the Freemasons and the Satanists in London, right?
Well, I think it was. Look, I mean, we could talk about Adam Weishaupt, and if it goes back to him and whatever. I think it's more, that the default of the world is the kingdom of Satan, and I always say, like, the real conspiracy is that there is a being that influences folks and has minions that influences the world, and he has dominion over the world that God allows. So, that's the bottom line.
That's kind of what we're up against, like when you take the mask off everything. That's kind of what it is.
Well, if you're a Christian, you believe these things have to come. I don't want them to come in my lifetime or for my children or whatever, but you believe they have to come. And Christ,
See, that's where we get to my bone of contention with Christianity. I hate that part. I hate that part.
It doesn't mean you can't fight against it, though, Yizz. Like I don't think it's the Christians that are like the Zionists that are like, oh, let's make these things happen. So God,
Yeah.
Let's
come back
go.
sooner.
Yeah.
I think Jesus was on his own schedule, being the master of the universe and all. I'm pretty sure.
I saw a meme where it was like Christians when they die. It shows like Bart Simpson. He's like dead. It shows like his ghost. He's like looking at it. He's like, oh, cool. I'm dead now. Like, let's go.
Well, speaking of the scientist and not the paid propagandist, Over 3,000 doctors and scientists signed declaration accusing COVID policymakers of crimes against humanity.
But those doctors and scientists don't count. We're not supposed to listen to them.
Yeah.
Right. And there is that's the Great Barrington Declaration he's probably talking about. But that's been going on for a while. So
didn't you bring that up on Monday too?
Did you? I don't know. I don't remember.
No, I said you did. I thought you brought that up on Monday. Did you not?
No, maybe DC did. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Dave.
We covered a lot on Monday. It was a good stream.
Oh, it was a good stream because I went back and watched it, and yeah, it was fun.
Good talks. Good talks.
You can call me a conspiracy theorist, but I think firing hundreds, if not thousands, of doctors and nurses because they resist to medical tyranny will never happen in a real pandemic. And I don't even know why we're using this language of pandemic. I don't know how a disease can be around for 2 years, which it's been around for 2 years now, folks. October. I know a lot of people say November, but there was evidence that it actually was released in October. That's like a few days away.
I was experiencing COVID-like symptoms back like October of 2019. So let's just put it that way.
My wife believes she had it early on because she formerly worked for Project Veritas and was doing a lot of traveling. And that was the worst she'd ever been sick in her life, she basically said. And I remember it was bad. It was really bad. And I got sick a little bit afterwards, but not as bad as her.
I'm just going to say you can call me a conspiracy theorist. And that's it. That's the whole.
I mean, me too.
That's everything.
I don't really care. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, me and Tank live in tinfoil town.
Those people to me, I'm just like, yeah, well, you know what Christ said about casting pearls before swine?
I almost had to slap my brother across the face earlier for referring to Alex Jones as a far-right conspiracy theory weirdo.
He's like center-right, basic boomer.
That's what I tried to explain to him. I'm like, dude, if you actually listen to him, he's not even far-right. Like, he just talks like, he has all these crazy things that end up coming true. Like, he's not even far-right.
Do you want me to have your brother talk to me? I can show him what that actually is.
Yeah, but it gets me like it wasn't that long ago for those old enough to remember. Like the people talking about Tower 7 and shit were not like they were all like either like Ron Paul right wingers or like Bernie types or people who would become Bernie types.
Yeah,
like Occupy Wall Street, like all this shit was like full of conspiracy. It really didn't become a dirty word until I remember going to a punk show in 2005. Where some like lefty fucking anarcho punk kids were singing about Bush New and all the fucking Mohawks with their anarchy symbols in their jackets. Like, hell yeah, Bush New.
Yeah.
That was basic big shit not that long ago.
Right. Right. Well, that's like the whole thing with the fake news narrative where that was actually a push from the Democrats leading up. And once Trump's appropriated it, they totally had to get rid of it and drop it. But that was meant to discredit Republicans and them running their campaigns and Fox News and stuff. And Trump appropriated it, and they were like, "Damn it!" And then they had their temper tantrum and had to go after him. Right.
Well, another thing to point out about what Tank was just saying about how things have changed, I think that the people that orchestrate the what I call the anti-white agenda, this anti-white narrative, they saw that their mask had slipped so much that there was a massive unified group of Americans against them. And so they were like, uh-oh. And so that's when you go back to, I think it was midway through the first Obama term, you look at all the mainstream media, New York Times, LA Times, Washington Post, all these big ones, and then local and coast-to-coast broadcast news like Fox News and CNN and all that. They started talking about race. They started talking about sexism and white male this and white people this and colonization and slavery and reparations. All this stuff exploded through the media almost at once out of the ether. And I think that's because the anti-white narrative, it really had to crank it up a notch because what they were doing, it wasn't working. And they had to divide us all again because that's the name of the game this whole time was fracture and weaken so they can easily control.
Yeah. When the population's in chaos, it's much easier for them to manipulate everything else because people don't pay attention. They have no clue what's going on.
Because they want everybody that ain't white and whites hating white people, and then everybody infighting and thinking, oh, it's that ethnic group's fault, it's that religion's fault, and everybody wanting to throw stones at each other instead of looking up at the real bad guy, which is the one pulling all the strings.
Well, and this is really what we need. And what's happened is they've gotten rid of the male masculine archetype and leadership. So strong, healthy, masculine men are the single greatest threat to the ruling class, which is why they've worked so hard to socially engineer society into believing that masculinity is toxic and must be destroyed, whilst the simultaneously feminized men via chemicals and pop culture. And that is no joke. There is a rapid decline in levels of pro hormones in males, that is male hormones like testosterone, in Western nations, and it's because we are loaded with all kinds of industrial chemicals,
soy,
GMOs, glyphosate, things like that.
And babies get fake food and fake milk from the beginning. They don't grow up. They don't grow up nourished right.
Why did IPAs become a thing? By the way, like why is that the beer, the hoppiest, most estrogenic beer that there could possibly be? Why did it become a thing? Because I'm a dark beer guy, and it's like, I'll enjoy an IPA now and again, but I feel horrible the next day afterward if I have too many. And I mean, too many for me is like, for an IPA is like 3.
Well, I think there's also a spiritual reason here too, Bill. Like we talk about how the forces of evil and Satanism, they invert God's divine order. They invert the natural order. And the anti-Western agenda people, they're Satanists. They promote the feminine. They promote chaos. They don't want order and meritocracy. They don't want strong men in control. That's why they want to feminize men and masculinize women. They want to make the self the god. Like that's satanic by definition.
Right. That's absolutely right. Well, in fact, that's what I plan on doing over on Dystopia Now. I plan on doing that this Sunday, again at 5 p.m. Eastern. Guys, if you want to join me over there, I'm going to talk about some of the occult ties with the UN. I'm going to be bouncing around with subjects, but I'll do a lot like I do over on All Minus One. I'll make like little series, but I won't do them all in a row. So I'll kind of bounce around while I upload some other stuff. Because again, I'm primarily using that channel as an archive for folks to be able to go to learn. And also, so I can do something, since I kind of am iffy about if I want to start streaming back on All Minus One until I get that first strike I had expired.
Yeah, I think it's that's what I do. Like I have a second channel and a Rumble. Like if I have 2 strikes on my main channel, I just wait it out on my second channel, my Rumble. It's probably the best. I haven't had this issue before, and it's just that recently they've gotten really stupid, and I think they flagged my channel, or someone monitors it on my Thursday stream because it was Thursdays that kept getting struck. Waking up Friday morning and not being able to stream, and I was like, "What the hell?" One of my videos got taken down in less than 10 minutes, so I think it's safe to say someone's watching my channel. Someone's flagged it,
and we all have a Fed. We all have a Fed.
They probably have it mechanically flagged or something. So, and the algorithm can't necessarily pick up nuance in what you're saying. But what's interesting with this last one was that they didn't even look at the appeal or anything. It's just, and the one before that got appealed and won, and then they struck it 4 days later. So what the hell? That was the same weekend, though, that Rand Paul got booted off. So who is more likely to stand up to tyranny? Weak, feminized beta males or strong, masculine alpha males, which is promoted by mainstream media and Hollywood? Do we have more healthy masculine male role models, or do we have more males cross-dressing as women and twerking on TikTok? And mind you, the Chinese, they said they're getting rid of all that gay crap, and they're going to raise real men. So,
well, keep in mind, a whole bunch of us in rural areas still are. And and remember, these people don't breed. They have to steal our children to make more of them. So,
well, those people not breeding is part of the agenda, though.
I know, but I'm saying, look, we're not all going to make it through the eye of the needle, okay? Like, we are rapidly approaching sink or swim time. And we're going to lose a lot of folks, but I believe in our people and I believe in our way of life, and I think that we're going to come out on top. It's just going to be a rough storm.
Angron says, there's a reason everything has soy, hydrogenated oils, and microplastics in it. Feminize men and make women develop early, then dry up early.
Yep.
And also they tell you to eat polyunsaturated fats, the most inflammatory things that you can eat. Now, don't get me wrong, you're going to get some in your food, even if you're just eating steak or whatever. But the amounts that they want you to ingest it is insane. And then all the sugar that they want to promote with that, which just causes all the problems that we have. But
especially that fake sugar, that what do they call it? The
high fructose corn syrup.
Yeah, that's in so many foods. It's shocking. It's just fake.
You know why?
It's fake. It's not real. It's not real nourishment.
When you already have inflammation in your system, see, fructose is actually an interesting sugar because your body metabolizes it different than other sugars, and so it goes straight to your liver, and it does not raise your insulin. But it will make you, hyper insulinogenic eventually if you have fatty liver disease. Part of that comes with the inflammation from all the other stuff of the high carb eating and the polyunsaturated fats. Plus, no one knows about the Randall cycle, and that's when you mix carbs and fats together. They compete for nutrients, which tends to make you overeat. It's not a good thing. So, in any case, I'm not going to go on and on about health, even though it's a passion of mine. So aside from I'm
doing my best. I've lost a couple inches off my waist already, and I'm starting to get some muscle tone back. So I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good too. I'm close to get my 6-pack back. That really sucked.
Badass.
I've been squatting, so I got a fat ass.
Hell yeah, son. Fat asses for freedom on this channel.
I got a juicy booty.
Okay, that's enough of that unchristian talk.
Oh. You better go to confession Sunday, Tank.
The women at work that's been ogling me better go.
Oh. Traditional masculinity officially labeled harmful by American Psychological Association.
Well, I mean, we know who runs that.
Right. People with the courage to resist these shots are not hesitant. They are sacrificing their relationships, their jobs, and their freedoms in the stand against medical tyranny. What type of moral conviction cannot be swayed with propaganda and free donuts? And it can't be reduced to some dismissive term like hesitancy. Yeah.
Well said. Well said. Yeah.
Yep. And likely the boosters won't stop. I know they, Twitter booted Dave Rubin right before he went on his sabbatical that he does annually for saying that. But then that's exactly what they did. And again, none of this is stopping. None of it's slowed down.
Yep.
COVID-19 is like eating raw cookie dough. We all know the risk. Now let us live our lives. And from old Eric July, that is young Ripa. He says, many of you unvaccinated frontline workers found out how disposable you are when you no longer fit within the agenda of elites. I only fault those that, despite knowing this, continue to defend these pieces of crap. So, yeah, 100%. And all the TikTok videos and all the nurses were the brave warriors and heroes, and now they're being thrown under the bus, of course.
I mean, think about it. Just like 6 months ago, these were the saviors of humanity, and now I believe it was like the New York governor or something like that. She was saying like, yeah, you guys are. I mean, I think she basically came out and said, yeah, you guys are disposable. Like, we'll just replace you.
Yep. Yeah. She actually said that.
Yeah, I'm so glad I was not working at the hospital still, because when I was there, I mean, I left that job because my boss did some really, really, really shady stuff and suspended me without paperwork and a bunch of other stuff. But I got HR involved. And everything I did was perfectly legal and legitimate. But anyways.
Well, here's the thing.
Side story. But
this is
I
what I
don't
don't
deal with this. Yeah.
This is what I don't understand about society these days. if you actually get really sick and you need to go to the hospital, why would you go to the hospital? Why would you not hike the mountain and talk to a guy in a wolf fur in a tent that's like going to just spray some sage in your face or some shit? That's the kind of shit I want. You know, that's how people did it for a millennia, and now all of a sudden we need these nurses with type 2 diabetes to you know, take care of us and shoot us up with shit.
Yeah, I'm not claiming to be like super healthy or anything, because I'm not, but I should, but I should get more healthy. But a lot of these nurses and doctors and health experts seem to be like not very healthy at all.
Yeah,
Did you guys see that meme I shared a few weeks ago? The one that was on Discordant Dragons with all the health ministers from around the world, how they all look like undead monsters from a D&D game.
Yeah, dude, it's all like my dad had to go to the hospital right before the it was in the pandemic about 8 months ago. He ended up breaking his spleen. So he went to the emergency room and he was there for a couple of days, and every nurse that came in that room was like a fucking butter planet.
Yeah.
And I was like, I mean, and people said like they have hard jobs. I'm sure they do. I'm not trying to knock on it necessarily, but
not nurses.
Well, maybe not, but regardless of whether they have a hard job or not. Yeah.
I don't know.
But these
medical staff.
I mean, they're going by the same dietary, and
no, you're being too soft on them. There's no excuse to be a gross fat ass. Humans ain't supposed to look like that. They're not supposed to weigh that much. If you look like a hippopotamus or a hut, you've done something wrong. Your parents failed you, and you're an irresponsible piece of shit that needs to be shamed to get your shit together.
I don't think
no fat acceptance, only fat shaming.
I don't think your parents necessarily failed you. I think
I do.
I think society did, in that they tell them that, oh yeah, you can just eat 300 grams of sugar a day and you'll be fine. As long as you don't eat butter. Yeah, as long as you eat margarine instead of butter. And you'll be like, there's been a lot of bullshit in the food pyramid shit, basically. That's ruined a lot of people. So I don't fully blame them.
Well, okay, take my family for example.
Listen. When I was in, I've talked about this before. When I was in school for physical therapy, before all this started, okay, the basic courses, basic biology, anatomy, the instructors are telling us that saturated fat is bad for you. That has been debunked forever now, 15, 20 years. And not only that, it should have never been an issue, because biochemically, it makes no sense that saturated fat would be bad for you. But if you don't understand biochemistry, or you don't pay attention, or you just listen to Dogma and go, oh, I'm just not going to, then you're going to believe that. But they teach everyone that. And if you talk to someone about it, it's a presupposition that people believe. And they still believe it to this day, even though it's a 20-year-old myth. In fact, when it became the zeitgeist in the 70s, it was a myth then. They knew better then. So, anyways,
what I was going to tell Tank about my family was, my family are from Kentucky, West Virginia, and Tennessee from like the last 200 years. We're Appalachian. And until I was in, I think, 31 or 32, until I was in my early 30s, I had all but one of my great-grandparents still alive. Mm-hmm. My great-grandparents on my mother's side that moved over here, they were, I think, in their 90s and still living on a 2-person farm and had pigs and chickens. And these are people that hated doctors, never wanted to go to the doctor. They ate fatback and bacon fresh off of dead pigs. They drank whiskey occasionally. They had their own moonshine still. And then my coal mining family from West Virginia and Kentucky, they all lived to their 80s and 90s. And they weren't heavy drinkers or smokers, but they ate regular foods. They had their own smokehouse that they made food in, that they would hang up beef ribs and pork ribs in. And they never went to the doctor. They didn't take pills. They didn't want any of that shit. And they lived to their 80s and 90s, almost every one of them. So it's like, you can't tell me that you can't tell me that it is because of modern medicine that people are living longer. I don't believe that for a second.
Well,
no, not at all. No.
What they do is they live longer in illness. They live longer in a state where they normally would have been dead. What we do is prolong life. This is why this whole thing with COVID doesn't. It doesn't bother me, because I'm like, most of these people are at life expectancy anyways, and on their deathbed. And you know, I smoke. I've been a smoker off and on for a long time. Trying to quit right now. I haven't had one in, I don't know, a day or whatever it's been, 2 days. That's an aside, but I thought to myself a long time ago, I want to make sure when I'm older, I'm not that decrepit old person who can barely move and whatever else. I'm like, that's not living. That's not life.
Yeah,
Like, what are you
old
doing?
people physical goals are Dr. Duke.
Yeah.
Well, like if you're like that and you're 90, it's one thing. If you're like that and you're 60 or 70, that's sad to me. You know,
Yeah.
especially because my dad's almost 70 and he's nowhere near, he's in good health generally. And my mom is too. So, you know, but in any case, let's keep moving. Also, guys, real quick, just to shill again, if you guys didn't know, there are links in the description for Entropy. If anyone wants to donate there, you don't have to. We're going to do this regardless, but it does help my family out. Tank and I split everything 50-50. Tank has a job, so you shouldn't donate to him anyways. But if you want to give me money,
But if you do want to play an old school D&D game, I'm gonna be starting one up soon. I'm gonna do it over Skype. So let me know if you want to be a part of that.
There you go. There you go. Anyway, so there is the Entropy. It's also the free speech platform and the D Lives in there as well, just in case you guys don't like the alphabet group. Oh, why won't this pop? There it is. 573 days face to face with COVID patients while unvaccinated. Never got COVID. I have an immune system. Don't mandate my choices.
Somebody mate with her and make kids that are purebloods.
Oh,
Do it right now.
Is that
Nick,
a nurse? Look, a nurse.
Nick,
that.
son, you're up. Nick, you're up. Go. Give her
guys
them
gotta look like
young,
each other a
give her
little
them
bit.
young white male Christian sperms. She needs them.
That usually happens. You know, people marry people that kind of look like each other often.
Yeah.
I mean, she looks like she's like 30 though.
Well, so you'd be starting off good then, man. Plus, you're a man. You can get them out now. She's probably like 25. You get them out now. You get the kids out now, and then if she passes away early, you can still have kids when you're like 80 something. You know, I mean,
Semen is a
you're a
demon.
man.
Let it out.
All right. And speaking of the jab and the coof, let's look at some numbers.
Yeah, I mean, who actually do people actually have sex? I thought it was just a meme.
You're a good kid, Nick. I was not that good when I was your age. I have a daughter your age, you know. Older than you.
What was that about a death cult you were saying earlier, Bill?
Fire.
But hey, guys, don't worry about those oddities there because the Biden administration is on the plan. You know, they're going to fix all this by requiring businesses to pay fines up to $700,000 in the reconciliation package. And that includes a vaccine enforced mechanism that has been introduced as part of the 3.5 trillion Build Back Better bill. Wonder who proposed Building Back Better. Was
I
that
feel like we've heard this before, Bill.
Yeah.
Isn't this
Yeah.
old?
Yeah. Didn't a Bond villain say that once?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Which allows for a tenfold increase in fines for employers. The increased fine on employers are run from 70,000 to 700,000 for willful repeat violations. The vaccine mandate applies to businesses with 100 or more employees. The fines could be applied per incident, meaning that only a small number of incidents could quickly bankrupt a company. This will literally put all the businesses out. Remember last year when BLM rioted and burned all these businesses down during COVID and all of these things, guys? They are absolutely trying to reset the economy, get you on the dole. And the only way that this doesn't happen is if people wake up, you inform them, they get informed, we stand up and say no, and our local police, our sheriffs, that stuff, also say no, because that's the only way this works. Otherwise, they win. Or we're going to have like skirmishes.
Yep.
I mean, and
localism and parallel building. Keep your rifle by your side. That's how we're going to beat this.
And, you know, you must wear a mask, stay in your homes, close the business, da-da-da-da-da. I don't consent. I'm never going to wear a mask. I can promise you. Once I make my mind up on something, you're not changing it. I'm not ever wearing a freaking mask again for this stuff. If there's some other reason why I would have to, you know, like gas, that'd be different. But
yeah, I mean, that's what these things are for.
Yeah, we can't just trickle away, though. We have to move as a unit. We have to understand the utility of a collective and main our individuality. And that's the biggest problem on the right, is we lost that a long time ago. Being
part of a functional collective is not the same as a collectivism ideology.
Right.
Like, we are a bunch of individuals, we are a bunch of families, we're a bunch of communities and a bunch of counties and a bunch of states. That doesn't mean we can't collectively take action together to benefit us all.
Well, and the Mises caucus of the libertarians figured this out and are unifying the libertarians and defeating the lawbritarians because of it. And maybe they might be a viable political party in the future. Meanwhile, Norway, officially, COVID-19 can be compared to, I'm not even going to say it because Susan might ban me, because you're actually not allowed to even say this, according to the TOS, as country removes pandemic restriction.
Oh, this is the epic time. So it's far right, you know, nonsense, conspiracy theory stuff. So. Yeah,
Norway. All right. Mm-hmm. They're not socialists, though, like Bernie Sanders would like to say that they are, but they do have some nationalized energy systems and such. In any case, this is my Twitter, guys. Not that I really care to throw it out there, but I mean, my name's been back here this whole time, but many of you already have my Twitter, so you know my name. I'm not really worried about being doxxed or that stuff at this point. A reminder for authoritarian clowns who are weak and feckless, 14.5K folks under 40 have died with the coof. Now, this was 2 weeks ago, says September 9th, right? 3 weeks ago, whatever. The total population under 40 is 166 million in the U.S. That's half of the population. It's over half. It's the majority. And of course, I said, assuming you math like you reason, I did your homework. That's 0.008734494% of the majority of the populace.
Yep. And I used this data that you sent me, and I posted it and said there are more white women raped by non-white men every year than this number. And yet we don't call that a pandemic. Where are the politicians making an outcry about that? Where's the health risk about rape?
Right now picking up something about the blonde that was murdered, and I mean that sucks for her and her family, but
that journalist that got terminated for talking about missing white women.
Right. And that stuff happens all the time, though. And we're not talking about like the regular sex trafficking that's coming from Asia, the Middle East, and Mexico through the cartels. So, you know, we got a lot bigger problems than some random girl and her boyfriend got in a tiff and he probably murdered her and ran off. I mean,
right.
Or accidentally killed her, whatever happened. I'm sure we'll find out eventually. So under 15K people under 40 have passed with the coof. This was, of course, more recently. Oh, this is a screenshot. That's why it says 15 seconds ago, right? So I just put this up the other day again. Of the 166 million in the age group the majority of the U.S. population, 6% of all deaths, that is CDC data, died with COOF alone. 94% had 2.9 comorbidities, meaning that the majority, that is on average, the majority had to have 4, 5, 6 or more to bring that number up to that.
Yep.
These were
2 of my 3
people.
videos about this were removed from YouTube.
Yeah. Well, we're okay with getting a warning on this channel because I don't think we have one yet, right? Right, Tank?
Yeah.
So hope you guys enjoy live in case it happens. And then approximately 75% of all deaths with the COOF were at life expectancy or beyond, of course. There were few recorded flu cases this past year. I didn't put past in there, but I should have. It's a tweet, you know. Yet the excess death rate was not abnormal, aside from the high car accident rate, and that is true, probably because people were drinking more. I don't know. But there were more car accidents last year, even though there were less travelers. And a raise in suicide. So,
well, maybe a whole bunch of people had dirt on Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, that's probably
right.
That's how it is.
Well,
of course,
I'm sure a lot of people do.
And guys, as always, I say stuff, fact check me. Do it. I'm okay with being wrong. I would like to be wrong. I'd like to be wrong about all the conspiracy stuff that I know is true that people have their head in their sand about. But
there's a lot of people who have dirt on Hillary. They're all just all dead.
Yeah, right. All right. And then, of course, the official numbers, you can see them yourself. It's from Statistica. You can see a little bar graph there. You have people wanting to vax their children now. So, I don't know.
If you know anyone who wants to vax their children, I would just show them the Project Veritas video that released a couple days ago.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, they'll probably still do it because they edit those videos. It's unfair editing.
I just love how you have the literal fake news coming out and saying, "Oh, Project Veritas is fake news."
It's ridiculous.
I can tell you, not that I know James well or anything, but I can tell you, having met James and my wife worked for him for a while, that he's all about integrity. Like
he does real journalism
thing. Yeah, their whole thing's about integrity. Like my
he
wife had to go
messaged
through
me
like a long training thing about that. She had to read a bunch of books and all this stuff. So
he messaged me. James O'Keefe messaged me once on Instagram, so we're basically best friends.
Oh yeah.
If you guys, ever need a
like
connection or
this.
anything, just come to me. I'm the connection guy.
Yeah.
Not a scientist or a statistician. Do you have any questions?
So if you guys don't know Elon, he's pretty good. I've watched his stuff. I don't watch him all the time, but I watch his stuff, man, on the street. I guess he's working for Temple now. But this is amazing right here because
this is good stuff.
He's trying to interview him like man on the street. Elon's the darker skinned guy there. So as they communicate, this guy that's interviewing him has no clue, and I think his producer's there too, has no clue about the numbers.
You want to talk about the medical part? Do you have any question? I'm asking you. Tell me what medically, or how are you against the vaccine? I'm not against the vaccine. I told you I'm not against the vaccine. Why are you asking this question? I told you I'm not. He wants you to be. I told you. Stop, please. I said I'm not against the vaccine. I said that a few times. I said I'm against the vaccine mandates, and I explained to you why. Do you have a question for me? Okay, so but then that ties into the reproductive rate of the virus itself. The reproductive rate. So in order for the virus to not mutate, 75% of the population needs to be vaccinated. Otherwise, it mutates. Is there a question in there, or are you just are you giving me a speech? What do you think in regards to that? What do I think about what? So, I mean, like my body, my choice is one thing, but then you have to understand. Can I ask you a question? Sure. All right. So, how many people under the age of 35 do you think died of COVID in this country? Well, there's a mortality rate and then there's a morbidity rate. I'm asking you, how many people under the age of 35 do you think died of COVID in the country? I don't know. I don't know. Give me a ballpark guess. Something. I have literally no idea. Come on, but you have no idea. I want to show you the order of magnitude of this issue. So I'm asking you, under the age of 35, how many people in this country do you think died of COVID? Less than older people. Do you? And about the morbidity. Did you hear my question? How many do I think? I don't know. You have no idea. Give me a guess. So this is a horrible pandemic, right? That's killing a lot of people in our country. How many people under the age of 35 do you think died? Because of COVID. How many under the age of 35? I don't know. Why can't I get an answer? Over 100,000. Okay, yeah.
Objection!
Now, the answer is a tenth of that. So according to the CDC now. I'm not a scientist, but you know, according to the CDC. How many people died? You could look that up. This is according to the CDC. According to the CDC. Yeah. And no, you can look at me and look it up. Look it up. Wait, and then you can show it on the screen, and then we can embarrass him. Look it up, please. COVID deaths by age, genius. COVID deaths by age. I'm not arguing anything. I just asked him. People over 35. I'm arguing with
This is my. What about this? What about that? Did I say anything about that? I'm asking a basic thing. What are you doing? And I just gave you the numbers of people over 35. Some of the numbers.
And they haven't even got to the comorbidity rate yet. It's like 94%.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
You said look it up. You're the producer. Look it up. Can you do COVID deaths by age? Come on, lady. And I'm right. So wait. Can we stop? Once I'm right, what are you going to say? Once she looks it up in a mortality rate and the morbidity. So does it matter if I'm right or wrong? That you had no idea how many people under 35 died?
1 hour later.
Yeah, and you don't listen to them apparently. But here's the thing: the reason that you're so wrong is the media is so misled, and you're continuing to perpetuate the misunderstanding of the threat of COVID. Your producer's been looking this up for half an hour. She knows she's wrong. She knows you guys are wrong. Please look this up. These are CDC numbers. And then thank you. Yeah, and look it up. Yeah, and you're wrong.
You're an idiot. You're wrong.
No, look it up. You guys don't know your CDC numbers. You pull it up yet? Okay, yeah, and he was 10 times an order of magnitude wrong. Thank you so much for your time, Walter. Who cares? I don't know. It's just amazing.
If people are dying, what about our hospitals being fucking over?
Also, the hospital thing overwhelmed as a media myth too.
Yeah. Well, all hospitals run
is-
and if they can, they run at capacity. If you ever work in a hospital, you would know that.
Just ask them.
People over 35. Fuck them.
Why? Because fuck them, that's why.
I mean, this just
That
shows
was from
though.
the pop copy sketch. I remember that. That's the pop copy sketch.
Yeah.
I mean, this just shows though, like the term brainwashed is kind of overused, but these people are literally brainwashed. Right?
Yeah.
Even in the face of facts and logic, they still have to argue for the side they've been told to fight for.
Yeah, that's an ideologue. You know, Nick, you should read the Gulag Archipelago. It might be above your reading level, but you should attempt it.
I mean,
don't read anything. Reading's stupid.
I have no reading level. I'm just dumb. I can't read anything. I have no reading level at all.
Tank has taken one too many Uncle Ted pills. He's even against books now. Tank is like, fuck that satanic printing press shit. We ain't reading in this house.
If you can make out the word good wrench and the number 3, that's all you need to know.
So meanwhile, in Germany, the new normal in Germany is bringing back the armband thing. Congratulations, totalitarians. In order to speed up admission controls, vaccinated and recovered students and employees in the Leibniz University of Hanover will in future wear color-coded armbbands. Excuse me, guys.
I think it's pronounced Leibniz.
Yeah.
Unless it's one of those ones where you pronounce the first vowel, then it's Leibniz.
It is, yeah, Leibniz is probably right. I'm if anyone's wondering when I stumble on this, I'm a bit dyslexic, so it depends how hard it hits me or not. When I'm tired, it hits me usually more often. But I'm doing pretty good tonight. Doing pretty good. Let's keep going here. Also, guys, if you are new here, I know some of you came in from Nick's or Yizz's shout outs. Please like, share, subscribe. We'd appreciate that. I know that we got 2 chats here on Entropy. I have No White Guilt Clips says great show. Appreciate that for $5. And then Crown Target said Nick is available on audio.
No,
Or
it is available.
It is available on audio.
He's talking about
sorry.
the book. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I am pretty retarded, so some words go over my head. So if it uses, if it uses words that are bigger than like 3, if they're like more than 3-letter words, I don't know if I can even my brain can even comprehend them. So.
Ain't nobody ever figured nothing out from no book.
So he's saying I don't know. I actually used to be able to speak basic German, but I'm so far
Two
from
vowel
being
to express
able to read anything right now because I'm too tired.
Ein
that's
German auf dem Tisch.
Well, it's EI. That's why I said Leibniz first. But I know that occasionally you pronounce the first vowel first, but that's not normal. I know German is typically the second vowel gets the stress. I actually took 3 years of German in school. It was a good, cool language.
I took 2 years. Yes, so yeah. And you learn a lot about. I took 2 years of Latin and 2 years of German. You learn a lot about English that way too.
I took German and Spanish.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know, Nick. Well, you don't go to school, but most.
Yeah, screw school.
Good.
No one's ever learned anything in school.
No, nobody learned shit in school.
Yeah.
Learn how to, how
everything I need to learn, I learned from the farm.
Right. Or on YouTube. You can learn anything on YouTube.
And of course, we have our pals out in Australia. The British turns Australia into a prison. Australia becomes free. The final order. We're doing a sequel.
That's pretty good.
And so one of their police chiefs or something, whoever this dude is, talked the other day. You'll like this.
Like this. Crowds like this, they're for cowards. Cowards who seek to hide their identity and conduct other activities to do other things that if they were by themselves, they wouldn't have the courage to do. The type of activities committed by these people today, by these cowards, was disgraceful.
Of course, he's addressing the riots, but I like the spin there. Because these folks are authoritarians, and it is, I'm just following orders.
Yep.
Well, if your orders are immoral, then don't follow them, no matter what the cost is. At least if you're a principled person or you're in the faith, if you're a Christian, you shouldn't be kowtowing to these things. I can tell you that.
Yeah, and like you said earlier about, well, what you said earlier that made me talk about these people being heartless mercenaries. Like this, earlier you said this is going to come to blows, and that's why
I don't want to, but yeah,
I'm telling everybody now, we are Americans. We are one of the last bastions of free white men on the planet. We have to organize and stay armed and be willing to shoot these tyrants in the face if they try to do this to us. And I'm not saying we should go on the offensive. I'm not telling anybody to do any terrorist shit. I'm saying protect you, protect your family, and be willing to use lethal force because they are certainly willing to use it against us. And we have to be the righteous people here, but that doesn't mean we have to let tyrants walk all over us. If a tyrant wants to walk on your child, shoot him in the face.
Well, there's it's the monopoly on violence, and this nation wasn't founded on the idea of having standing militaries or police forces like this. We had a sheriff. Sheriffs are elected for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
The community knew who he was. That's brought over from the old English system. And municipalities have police forces of sorts, but traditionally, really, people police themselves in their own communities, and we still find this today in the inner cities. You guys remember when the BLM people, the Antifa folks, were going towards like Latin King areas, and they were getting shot at and stuff.
And even earlier than that, we have rooftop Koreans.
Yep.
I mean, those fools ain't going to try that out here in my holler. I mean, the cops don't even come out here.
And these are the same people that are blatantly arrogant, that go about and do whatever, and then they put on their mask for the camera, just like this.
Just that center shot, if you don't mind.
There's no view there.
That's great. That's perfect. Right there, please.
Thanks, folks. Let's reset downstairs. Thank you. We're going to reset. Elevators are this way. Thanks so much, everyone.
We don't have an access. We need to shut this down.
So I have this theory. It's so the deep state or whatever you want to call it, that's like running everything behind the scenes. I think they've gotten lazy. Like they promoted their kids who were like kind of shitheads and didn't know how to do anything, some nepotism. I think that's what's happened.
Hunter Biden?
Yeah, I think the Hunter Bidens of the world are the ones running the psyops now, and it's pretty
And that's
transparent.
why it's so sloppy and the mask is off.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also the information age works more in our favor than theirs.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think that they believe they're so close to implementing their plans that they concocted. Because remember, 2030 is the date. The UN came up with that date. 2030 is the date. They've been pushing this thing recently. The whole propaganda narrative of we have 12 years to live before climate change is irreversible, which is nonsense because carbon's good for us in the environment and the plants of the earth, and greening is good for us. But they want to tell you that what life is itself is bad for you. That because they think that human beings are a virus upon the earth.
I just want to point out the top 25 CO2 polluting cities of the world. This actually popped up in my Twitter feed not too long ago. Like I'm looking at it right now, and almost
India and
all
China?
of them, it's China all the way down, except for one of them is Russia, and one of them is Japan. Everything else is China. But it's the U.S. who's lectured about all this.
Dude, it's the anti-white agenda. I'm telling you, they want us to suffer. They want us broken first because we are the real speed bump to their total control.
Absolutely.
That's why they hate us. They hate America because we are the resistance to them. We are mortal ideological enemies to what they want.
Yep, Yizz and I were talking about this. Well, you were there too, Nick, but we were talking about this on Discord of Dragons, and 100%, and you brought it up here, Yizz, a few weeks back. You were on the show. The Christian mentality, whatever denomination you might belong to, or non-denominational, whatever, but the general Christian ethos is completely against their agendas.
Yeah.
And they
killed our Lord.
Well, I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole.
Oh my god!
Well, one, I get the joke, right?
Okay, I just want to point out this is I'm not bashing Yizz or anything, but this is one of the arguments I see of why you should hate Jews is because they killed Jesus.
That's all she's doing.
No.
It was totally a joke. That's why I said it the way I did.
I'm just pointing because I've heard people say this like seriously.
I have too. That's why it's funny. My grandfather used to say that as a joke.
And that's why I always remind people, if you just read the Bible, Jesus himself, while dying on the cross, even forgave the Jews. So, don't go too hard on the Jews.
Dude, I don't.
No. I know. I'm not. That's why I said I'm not like going after you. I'm just putting that out there.
All right, let's keep going with memes, man, because
we made it 2 hours and 40 or an hour and 40 minutes for someone said don't go too hard on the Jews. Solid work, guys.
I never go too hard on them. Solid work. Chosen people.
Good job, boys.
It's the cool it with the anti-Semitic remarks.
All I know is Tank, if you need to, you can cut out because I know you'll have work tomorrow. But unless you guys want to do like a 3-hour stream, we're gonna have to keep moving. So
okay,
let's keep going.
I don't mind doing a 3-hour stream per se, but I don't know.
I'm having a good old time. Let's see where the night takes us.
All right. Well, maybe I'll have my older daughter bring my daughter up here at some point, my baby girl. The mayor of San Francisco was recently caught not wearing a mask at a concert. Her excuse was that she was feeling the spirit and she didn't need the fun police to give her a hard time about it. Thing is, she has ordered a mask mandate for all San Franciscans or San Francisco. Honestly, though, I'm fine.
San Franciscanians?
Why is this guy even fine with the explanation? That's not a fine explanation. She's a leader. I mean, she leads by example in every single step of the way.
I just want to remind you, I got kicked out I got escorted out. Obviously, I'm not in San Francisco, but I got escorted out by a police officer from a school board meeting for simply not wearing a mask. They called security down from multiple levels for me because I was not wearing a mask. But because someone feels the spirit, it's a fine.
Nick, did you tell the cop? Did you
This
tell the
guy's
cop?
name's Cohen. They ain't all bad. See.
1 hour and 41 minutes.
There you go.
Well, Nick, did you try telling the cop that you felt the spirit? That's why you wasn't wearing a mask.
Yeah, I mean, I should have. I mean, like, hey man,
that's the go-to.
I'm just feeling the spirit.
But there was a story out the other day in Australia, because they're so strict right now. They're putting people in camps. They're making them wear masks outside all by themselves, whatever. Where dude was smoking a cigarette or something, and the police arrested him.
I saw someone, I think it was in Australia, where like the police like cracked the dude's skull open because they bashed him onto the ground because he wasn't wearing a mask.
Did you see that? Did you see a video of the Australian cop, or I think it was Australian, just running up and fucking side kicking that young girl into the wall? Did you guys see that?
I mean, they just bash him. They go at him
I
full
saw one where
force.
she choke slammed a girl or whatever, but
No, this is a new one. It's where it's this one black dude. I mean, it might have been in America because the black dude sounded American, but it's hard for me to tell. But he was filming or recording it with his phone and providing, you know, what I'm not going to say. He's providing commentary in the way that they do. And this one cop was wrestling this like 12 or 13-year-old girl on the ground, face down on the pavement, knee and hands on back and neck, smashing her face into the pavement, trying to wrestle a mask onto her. And then the young girl's friend is trying to pull the cop off. And this other cop sprints in from off camera and, like he's a fucking karate kid, flying sidekicks this girl into the wall. And she's like 14. And then manhandles her into cuffs.
We brought it up before earlier in the stream, but wasn't it in V for Vendetta that it took them to kill a little girl for the people to actually do anything?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen.
Hold on, real quick. Seraphim, is that the cardinal that just retired, the black cardinal you're talking about? Because he was pretty based, and the Dalai Lama is very based. So.
I mean, the Dalai Lama said Europe's for the Europeans. He gets a gold star in my book.
Yep. In any case, let's keep moving. I don't need to read every single one of these. A body of men holding themselves accountable to nobody ought not to be trusted by anybody. Thomas Paine.
Indeed.
Interestingly, and I actually know someone who suffers from this. They constantly think they have COVID. And why are so many suffering dreadful COVID symptoms but still testing negative? Sarah Vine was convinced she had it, but countless tests said otherwise, and she's far from alone. So what's going on?
Women.
That's because nobody's allowed to get regular sick anymore.
Women is what's going on.
No, the person I'm talking about is a man. But he's a vegan too, so that's why he's getting sick.
Well, there you go. Yeah.
But this is it. Mass psychogenic illness. And it is a rapid spread of illness signs and symptoms affecting members of a cohesive group or originating from the nervous system, disturbance involving excitation, loss of, or alteration of function, whereby physical complaints that are exhibited unconsciously have no corresponding organic etiology.
Etiology.
Okay. Yeah. So more or less, it's psychosomatic, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, we have whistleblower group Project Veritas has recently released a tape of doctors and nurses alleging that the data of adverse reactions of the COVID vaccine have neither not been reported by staff or purposely covered up. The response? Censoring the videos from the internet.
All hail Norm Macdonald.
Truly one of my favorite. I mean, honestly, when Tank and I started with the show, we weren't sure what we were going to do with it. We were talking about stuff. And I was like, let's do Meancast News, man. It's in the name. Let's do all that stuff, right? And
F's in the chat for the greatest shit poster that we've had in a long time. He will have a grand statue in Kekistan once we win the meme war.
Yeah.
My favorite
He was a big inspiration for the show, though.
Oh yeah.
So
He's a
for
big
this
inspiration of mine too. He's been a truth-telling shit poster for 30 years.
Well, not just
My
that, but
favorite-
I remember as a kid when I used to watch him on the Weekend Update. He's the only host that was ever funny on that.
Yeah.
my favorite ever Norm Macdonald clip was when he was on The View and he brought up the homicide in the White House. He started talking about Bill Clinton, and they had to shut him down for that. Yeah,
At least he's not a murderer.
That gives you insight though to how that stuff works. As Barbara Walters like, you got to shut up, and then what's her name?
I mean,
Star Jones was like, you if you say that again, you ain't ever coming back. And
yeah, I put the clip on my YouTube channel because it's really funny. But if you actually listen to it, it's like they are afraid once he started bringing it up. Like they were shutting them down.
They're
like,
afraid to tell the truth. They know what happens. But Norm, the thing was Norm there was attacking a sacred cow.
Yeah.
So as you know, you can't attack the Clintons. They were the best. Bill Clinton was our first black president. So
exactly.
Anyways, speaking of Project Veritas, me running from the FDA and dodging their blow darts. I don't know if you saw the FDA Veritas release. They got a very very queer individual to espouse.
You know how Bill is super straight? That boy was super gay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that was
gay, that's for sure.
Once I saw that dude, I was like, that dude's gay.
Super gay. Super gay.
Gay chart.
Like Liberace would call that guy a faggot. Now, let's be fair.
The gay is off the chart.
Well, hey guys, if you're worried the government isn't listening to you, just call the NSA because they're the only part of government that actually listens. So
and they're listening right now.
Hello.
Peeping while you're sleeping. And I mean, this is just funny. Vaccinated single women in my area. Tank, don't get activated.
Oh god,
that was good.
I was wondering my phone hasn't been working.
I'd like to remind everyone that there was a wise man named Ted Kaczynski that had a lot of wise things to say. Everyone should read.
It was Uncle Ted, you know. I had to explain to people who Uncle Ted was.
Well, he's my uncle.
Yeah.
The other day, I forget where I was. It was on a chat somewhere, or maybe you guys were on. Maybe it was on your stream, Nick. When I brought up Uncle Ted, people thought I was talking about Ted Cruz, and I was like, no,
bro.
Well, it was during a stream where I said something about like Uncle Ted, and then I said, I can't remember what we were talking about. I was like, Uncle Ted was right. And they're like, who's Uncle Ted? And I'm like, I'll tell you later.
Yeah, you gotta be careful too. People start thinking you endorse that because no one critically thinks, and
I do.
They endorse the bombings. I mean,
well,
that's what I said. I'm like, I don't endorse how he did it. It's just
it's a trolley problem.
I was gonna say no comment.
Everyone on every like shit lib that you'll ever talk to when looking at a trolley problem will flip that switch to kill the least amount of people.
And that's all Uncle Ted did.
That's what he was doing. Now, I'm not saying I agree with it because I know the government's listening,
right?
But
as in the words of the great anti-commie, he wasn't talking about Uncle Ted. But I don't like to agree with people who kill kids. But hey, you got to read what he was. You got to listen to what he was saying because
Tank was slow on the draw there. I put up the banner just in case.
I'm not trying to bet. I'm just saying. There's so many people that be like, well, I'll kill the few to save the many, and then turn around and say, well, what Ted Kaczynski? I mean, he killed 3 people. I mean, he did. He killed. Yeah. I've killed.
We
0
do not
people.
endorse. We never will and never have endorse violence. Okay, that's just message to YouTube. We never will.
Yeah, but
TED Talk I like.
But
no comment.
All right.
Hell yeah.
Obviously, this has been out for a while. You guys probably already seen it, but is there a tax I can pay to stop the COVID-19, or does that only work for climate change?
I mean, you can pay it; it ain't going to stop it.
Right?
They'll probably make you pay it.
And here's to those of us who will close out 2021 with their intact human DNA.
Hey, Team Pure Blood, represent.
I'm not that guy. F in chat for my sperm, guys.
F.
F for the sperms. All right, so
Uh-oh, I got to refresh entropy. My entropy crashed.
we
Oh,
got
no,
to
it didn't. I just got to re-sign in.
Yeah, it did that to me too.
it's still running for me, but I'm the one running it. So.
Sorry if you guys said stuff to me and I missed it. My chat wasn't doing shit over there.
And Crown Target for $10 says, "Good show. Thank you, partner, for the donation."
Yeah, Crown Target's a good fella. I see him around a lot of places. I'm glad to see you here tonight, buddy.
So once again, you guys can go over to Entropy if you want to make a donation. We will probably never monetize on YouTube. We only use it basically because it's where the battleground is. I'm not about to prop them up financially in any way, shape, or form. So, unless it was some sort of collaborative effort where someone was already monetized or something, that would be the only way. But otherwise, in any case, we're going to shift gears into some election news. But first...
Ooh, the circus is in town.
Arizona.
Oh, very good. Very good.
Yes. When the Arizona audit results are finally made public.
Oh, yes.
What did we find? Mind you guys, I didn't comb through all this before. I've been really busy. I've not been seeing as much news as I normally do. And plus, I have to take little hiatuses to some degree. So I haven't combed through all this myself yet. But these are
Razor Fist has good stuff on this if you want to catch up quick.
I want to watch it. I haven't seen it yet, but I bet it's fire. That dude goes ham.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he lives in Arizona. And he knew this was going to happen.
Well, that's his fault.
Yeah.
I'm sure Arizona's great. That's one of the states I'd move to if I ever left the South.
Multiple duplicate votes. One initial report in the AZ audit alleges 34,448 mail-in ballots were cast by only 17,000 people, unique voters, and also 25% of those duplicates came after Election Day. And Trump lost by 10,000 votes, almost 10,500. So,
wait a minute. Hold on. Wait. Are you saying that this election had some discrepancies?
No. It was the best election ever to happen.
No, that's fortification.
No, it was just
okay.
No, this was a completely fair, safe, and most honest, decent election that has ever happened in the history of the world.
And just like California, we must have permanent mail-in ballots, because if you don't have permanent mail-in ballots, you are a racist and don't want people to vote. And any other president in history that never had mail-in ballots was also a racist.
Look, guys, we all know war is peace, freedom is slavery, and unaccountable ballots is security.
Yep.
So,
Big Brother is forever. Yeah.
Also, you did read a book, or you just heard about that before?
I read some of the book.
Let me find out if you read a motherfucking book. Let me find out if you read a book.
What are you doing, son? By the time I was your age, we were reading that in high school. I know they don't do that anymore because they don't want to let people know what's up, but still.
No, I do read. Okay.
Don't
comic books don't count, dude.
Don't read.
I actually don't really read.
Books.
Most comic books are trash these days anyway. I don't actually really read.
Yeah, they're all woke.
In the words of my late great grandfather, I don't read readings for redcoats.
Who reads anyway?
You know who else read books? Adolf Hitler.
Exactly.
Oh,
exactly.
Think about that. Is that where you want to be?
Yeah, reading books makes you it radicalizes you.
Yeah.
You don't want your kids to be like Hitler. So if your school requires reading, pull them out of it.
All right, guys. Here's some other things I saw. Canvas showed 3,400 more ballots were cast than recorded. Over 9,000 more mail-in ballots were received than recorded. Precincts show more ballots cast on Election Day than people who showed up to vote. About 1,500 extra. 2,500 ballots were shown in early vote returns that do not have a voter listed as casting them. 255,000 early votes show in the county's final vote file that do not have a corresponding entry in the early voting return files.
That's the big one that we need to be talking about. That one right there. Because that's what we were talking about all year last year with the mail-in voting bullshit. Was that.
I haven't delved into this in any detail. I expect that this will come out in more detail as things occur. I actually watched, was it today? I don't even remember if it was today or yesterday. I turned on Rich Barris with Barnes because I thought they might talk about this, but I didn't. They weren't talking about it in the beginning, and I had other stuff to do. In any case, Rich Barris is the People's Pundit, if you guys didn't know. So he's pretty on top of these things. In any case, Arizona audit reveals massive fraud. Me calling my liberal friends to see if they've heard the news.
I just want to point out, I said this last night on my show because we talked about this for a little bit. Is notice, the last meme we just had with all the statistics and whatnot. That's what came out of the Arizona audit. What the media right after everything happened, every single newspaper, TV station, all of them were saying every headline was Arizona audit proves Joe Biden won. That's all they would say. So
yeah, Seraphim, you're killing it today, man. Thanks for joining the stream. I haven't seen Osis post much. I wonder if he disappeared. He's usually the one killing it, making fun of Tank. In any case, you call your liberal friends because this is what you'll hear from them. Why the term legal votes is racist.
Well,
Where do I fucking begin with that one?
We don't even need to. The audit. Democrats thinking they stole Arizona.
That's pretty good.
Wait, Arizona was red? Always has been. And we get old Joe buffering.
I like that one.
Come on, man.
Come on, man. Sugar not much shove the pressure. Batter calf care. If I had a quarter for every smart thing I ever said, I'd have 2 dimes.
I can relate to that.
And name something you hear at college football games.
That's a good one.
Remember, folks, this is all because they've destroyed masculinity, because weak men create hard times create strong men create good times, and good times create weak men.
We are officially in the weak men hard times part of the cycle.
That's correct.
We are deep into it.
But no mean tweets, and it's nice to have a president who doesn't get laughed at while speaking at the United Nations General Assembly. Because everyone's asleep.
I just want to say, I've heard some right wingers who talk about how bad Trump was tweeting on Twitter. I liked Trump on Twitter.
Me too.
It was the best years of my life.
Yeah.
I haven't been around for that long, but those are some of the best years of my life.
I was there from before there was even Kofifi. I love his tweets, man.
That was a classic.
Yeah, his tweets are off the chain.
There's a whole Wikipedia page on that tweet, on the whole cup, we misspelled coffee or whatever. I'm not even joking. There's a whole Wikipedia page on that tweet itself.
There's Osis. I got an Osis comment in. He says, "No, I'm here. I've been cooking." All right. You're usually ripping on Tank, dude. So I mean, we're not ripping on Tank enough. It's because we have, we have to punch down the Nick.
it's going to the line here.
This keeps reoccurring. I keep seeing this. I don't think I've ever put it on the show, so I finally had to get this in here. Really doesn't stand anywhere other than the creepiness of old Joe. And watch this dude, this aide. Kid, whatever it is.
Is the snoofer about to snoof him a darkie?
Yeah. Jeez. Nice, yes, nice. Anyways, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, sinking the ship. Co-starring Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, and a host of undesirables. A Democrat.
That's gross.
You know what's gross is the blatant lies that come out of their campaign, and no one on the left calls it out, as they constantly said Donald Trump lied when he's just exaggerating and being bombastic. Biden has lied straight up numerous times.
Oh, yeah.
And apparently Miley and the military leaders told him what would happen in Afghanistan, yet he lied about it. One man called the bull crap out, and he is now in the brig. Now, I wanted to address this real briefly. Don was talking about this morning. I get Don's views on it. I think this guy is doing something that he's not understanding. I don't know. I could be completely wrong. I think when he first came out, he thought it would be okay because other military officers have been in uniform and said things, but they were left-wing things. So obviously, if you say anything that's liberty-minded or about accountability or leadership, you're wrong, and at least politically. And so his second video, though, was a lot more somber. So I encourage all of you guys to go to the Ghost Body Language channel and watch her assessment of it and see how strategic he is with it and how somber it is. I think he did think a lot more of this through. Turns out his wife filed for divorce immediately. I actually have an ex-wife that I met while I was in the Marine Corps, and she was married prior to a Marine. Now that guy got locked up in federal prison and stuff, lost all of his VA benefits, all of his medical benefits, all that. She had those benefits transferred to her children. So I'm wondering if this guy's doing the same, or sorry, this guy's wife is doing the same thing.
Yeah, it's possible.
Lieutenant Colonel Stu Scheller, right?
Scheller,
yeah. I want to say Schellner for some reason, but anyways, he is a true leader. He put his butt on the line. Now, maybe he could have done this better, but I do think that him going to the brig and whatever else, I think he is trying to set himself up to be a martyr. I don't know. I could be completely off base here. Well, but it may not be
fair, I mean, Marines are trained to die for what they believe in. So they are sort of prepared to martyr themselves for what they've been trained to believe in. And he loves this country and he loves his people. So, I mean,
Nick, thanks for the link, buddy, because I just saw that in private chat. So, guys, the Pipe Hitter Foundation, if you want to donate to him for legal funds and stuff like that, I'll put it in the chat here real quick on YouTube and Entropy. I'm not even paying attention to D Live, so I have no idea if we have anybody over there. Tank, are you watching that?
I am not.
Oh, shit.
Good
I
Lord,
forgot about
man.
D Live. I'm sorry. Let me open that up.
It's all right. We have so few viewers over there, so rarely that
I forgot we were even on D Live, to be honest.
That's how we're streaming Entropy right now. In case YouTube goes down.
If you're on D Live, we don't care about you. You're lost.
It's owned by the Chinese.
No. You mean the Chi-Coms?
Yeah, that's Chi-Coms.
Says he remembers from Sniper stream. Yeah. And I guess Sniper got a hold of me last night, but I if I wasn't busy and I saw Twitter, I would have.
Hey, Promethean Healing. Good to see you here, friend.
But I don't know. I get the assessment that this was rash. It was dumb. He could have got out. Here's another thing, guys. When you're an officer, you can resign. You're not done. They can call you back at any time. And the way the Biden administration's been, I would not, what am I trying to say in my tiredness? I would not put it past them to do such a thing, just to screw with this guy for speaking out, honestly. I mean, what they've done to the Patriots, many of them who just walked through the Capitol building, right, did nothing.
Yep.
What they've been saying about those folks and the insurrection. It's like if that was an insurrection, it was pretty sad because
the actual insurrection was Biden claiming the White House and the troops that he positioned around D.C.
Oh, spicy.
That's why I call him the usurper in chief.
Nice. Well, just hang in there, folks, because things are going to get a lot worse. But we have old based Joe Rogan again. Not that Joe Rogan is actually based, but, sometimes he is.
It's probably what Trump wanted, too.
Is he trying again?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he's going to 100% try.
Yeah.
He's probably going to win.
You think so?
How is Joe Biden going to win? How is it possible that he's going to beat anybody? After you've seen him speak, after you've seen the decay and the decline, how is it possible?
It's not very inspiring.
They've done a terrible job. The Democrats fucked up royally by making that guy the president.
Okay, the white pill here is fortification might get through to Joe Rogan. on the next election if that happens. So,
And then what?
I don't know.
I
don't know.
I
He's
just
got a
want to
big
say,
platform though.
I just want to say, I'm not like saying like Joe Rogan is like is like super based or far right or anything. But I will say that I do enjoy the slow moving Joe Rogan slowly to the right. Not
Nick,
there yet, but very
nobody here is
slowly.
giving you shit for liking that thing that you shared last night. I found it very inspiring.
No, I'm just saying.
I like a lot of inspiring pro-America stuff, even if it's propaganda meant to manipulate me. But regardless, Joe Rogan has a good show, and he says a lot of agreeable shit. So there's nothing wrong with liking his show.
He's very moderate and he leans slightly left, but I think in the last few years he is getting a little bit more right. But it's like, I was talking to Josh Hamm a while back, and I was talking about Tim Pool, and I've watched Tim Pool for a very long time now. I think since Anaheim, and I'm pretty sure. And everyone gets mad at Tim and whatever else. I'm just like, this is a guy figuring it out, man. I mean, not everyone comes to these things right away. And I don't care because it's the pipeline to reality. Because look, guys, it's a far cry away from like Fox News and then getting into maybe some of the other what was it, OAN, and I don't watch any of those, but Newsmax. I do suggest NTD though; they're good because they're straight
Right side
news.
broadcasting, I think, is fairly good.
Yeah. In any case, I'm saying it's a far cry from that, and then getting someone like Tim Pool who's getting various voices on, but he can't get very many lefties because they're scared.
They fucking should be.
Yeah, and Tim, like the other week, I was like, he finally said the Republic is dead. Thank you, Tim.
Yeah.
It's like why anyone thinks that the Republic has been alive? We don't.
I mean, the Republic's been dead since what, like 1820?
Yeah. Well, I don't know about 1820. At least 1860, 1862, about that date. 19. When was FDR elected? when did he threaten to snag the Supreme Court?
Was
that
it
would
08?
require me reading a book, and I'm not going to do that.
In any case, let's keep moving. Speaking of which, Democrat chairman of the House Budget Committee, John Yarmuth, thinks Congress can spin into oblivion because we are like the banker in Monopoly. We create the money.
Did he really say that?
That is a quote. Yes, I don't have it because I got this from a clip, but it's there if you go look at Tim Elliott's. It's something like this. This is how they feel. This is what they think.
Soon to dictate duty to me? Have you any idea what the cost of your actions is? What their effect might be? Who are you to give them hope?
What do you give them?
We give them happiness. And they give us authority.
The authority to take away their freedom under the guise of democracy.
Men can never be free. Because they're weak, corrupt, worthless, and restless. The people believe in authority. They've grown tired of waiting for miracle and mystery. Science is their religion. No greater explanation exists for them. They must never believe any differently if the project is to go forward.
At what cost to them?
The question's irrelevant, and the outcome inevitable. The date is set.
At what cost to them for your own selfish benefit? How many must die at your hand to preserve your stake in the project?
I'm not impressed by your miracles or moved by your trickery. Your justice will be meted out.
By whom this time? And by what tool?
By those who possess the tool of your destruction.
I don't know. I like the X-Files. I haven't watched it in a long time, but in any case, yeah, it's something like that, something like this, um, something, something like this. Oh, let's get it up here. Build back better, guys.
Yeah.
I just want to remind everyone, I actually, I was actually watching, is it Paul Joseph Watson, earlier today before the stream, and he brought up a good point. He was talking about the Pope and whatnot, and he brought up about the one world government and whatnot. And if you look at it's mentioned there in the Bible, in Revelation. Just pointing that out.
Yeah, it is, but a lot of people miss that. A lot of Christians miss that. They don't pay attention because they don't understand the imperative that Christ gave in the Olivet Discourse to continue to watch and look, and not to beat your fellow servants, by the way, mind you. A lot of Christians miss that one. So from the Associated Press, breaking: the center-left Social Democrats have won the biggest share of the vote in Germany's national election, beating out the outgoing Chancellor Angela Merkel's center-right Union bloc in a closely fought race. What's the difference?
There isn't one. That's why I've been telling you guys. We need to abandon this left versus right shit. That has been Marxist bullshit from the beginning. There is national and local versus global international Satan. That's it.
Well, that wasn't... I mean, yeah, I guess it was pre-Marx. I mean, it was French Revolution, but... Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that our concept of left versus right battle is the Marxist magic show that they want us all to pay attention to. Like we need to get away from that narrative. That's the anti-white narrative. We need to be in our narrative.
I continually say the liberty versus, tyranny or the elite.
Yeah. Good versus evil, liberty versus tyranny. That's good.
We've talked about this before, but yeah, left versus right is parlance, more or less. So, but yeah, I mean, I try to get away from it as much as possible as well. Depends on who I'm speaking with. In any case, an interesting thing is occurring these days on the floors of our hallowed, sacred, religious halls of the Capitol building.
The scenario reminds me of this popular meme.
In session, so let's tell the truth about what's happening. You see, this is a simple meme that you would find on the internet, but this meme is very real. The Green New Deal, surprise, serves China and China only.
That bitch will shut up.
So today, talking about the Green New Deal and the all-out war on the men and women who...
Yes! Marjorie Taylor Greene is my favorite politician. I'm sorry. She just is.
I had to take my wife to the airport the other day. It was like, 6:30 in the morning. I was driving home from Baltimore, and I'm listening to her give the speech on YouTube. You can find it. It's a pretty good little, actually, dissection of the Green New Deal and the World Economic Forum. Like, she breaks it down. But the meme thing, I saw the other clip, this one just the other day.
The scenario reminds...
Congress is in session, so let's tell the truth about what's happening. You see, this is a simple meme that you would find on the internet, but this meme is very real. The Green New Deal, surprise, serves China and China only. You can go ahead and put number 1 up. So today, talking about the Green New Deal and the all-out...
I own Joe Biden, and now I own Afghanistan lithium deposits. That is so based. I'll tell you what, if Michael Cisco can win in my district here in West Virginia, I am going to have to prompt him to do these things, because it's just funny.
I think when they flipped that switch at CERN, we went on to a different reality path. That's what I think.
Yeah,
this is awesome. I love this.
This is nuts.
I'm gonna sue this bitch.
But awesome.
But
what did you say, Tank? I couldn't hear you.
So I'm gonna sue this bitch for stealing my intellectual property. That's all women do is take everything.
That's right.
Exactly.
That's right, Tank. That's exactly what I'm about to get into. As much as this is based, why are we sending these women to Washington, D.C.? Why are we letting these women lead? Where are the men leaders, the real male leaders at? When you let women lead, this is what happens. Women are great leaders. You're following one now.
I didn't mean for my comments to segue into this, but they did.
Oh, Bill's good at that. This is a good one about the whammons.
Whammon.
I think I'm pretty awesome, but seem to scare guys away.
Well,
this is one of those coveted journos that are brave and fearless. Here are some other
somebody early life check this bitch.
Oh,
I don't need your money. I can spoil myself. I'm done dating broke guys, but that doesn't make me a gold digger. I haven't had sex in a year, and I'm getting depressed or desperate.
I've been able to abstain for 16 years. If you can't do it for 1 year, that's a problem.
Yeah, but to be fair, your voice helps a lot with that.
Oh
yeah.
Oh no, it's all right. When you get your first kill,
you don't know what you're missing yet, Nick. Anyways, I contracted genital warts.
Hey, man, you know
why I am not ashamed. I'm a strong, independent woman, but I still want the guy to make the first move. I'm tired of teaching guys.
If she ain't fucked in a year, how does she have genital warts?
Yeah, because she's a woman, Tank. She's lying. They don't know what they're talking about. They don't know what they want.
As Don says, all women
having a horrible marriage and then being completely destroyed and going through an identity crisis and then being a man whore to figure all this out about women. And now I'm in a great marriage because, I got my life straight and gave my life to the Lord. But in any case,
as Don says, all women are entitled whores.
This is our society. This is what they teach. And it's like, no wonder why these young men have no idea what to look for or do, because these women don't know what they want. And they shouldn't, because women aren't the natural leaders in the biological and God-given order of things.
And speaking of the God-given order, the satanic anti-whites have been trying to make women masculine and men feminine for 100 years. And they've been doing a good job of destroying the natural order by inverting male and female. And now we're seeing the results of that. That's what a lot of this evolves around.
If you
it's
guys
the symbol of Baphomet and the androgyny. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys want more, if you guys want to laugh at like feminist cancer, just go over to the feminist subreddit on Reddit, and it's just full of just the funniest stuff you've ever seen.
Are you telling me to go to Reddit?
I've only went to Reddit just to do that, just to comment on it.
Okay, Pat. Okay, Pat.
Come on. I'm not going to Reddit, Big Nick.
I literally tried to do. I was literally trying to make like a comedy thing on All Minus One, where I went through like things people say on Reddit, and I couldn't do it. It was so terrible. I was like, I did like 1 or 2 episodes. I was like, this isn't good. It's just, and I'm like, I can't go through Reddit this much. These people are insane.
So the thing is, the thing is that got me banned from the feminist subreddit was someone posted on like International Women's Day. They're like, oh, it's International Women's Day, and I was like, damn, who's gonna make me a sandwich today? Like, who's gonna make me a sandwich now if it's International Women's Day? And they banned me that day.
I had enough Reddit in one day when a few years ago I was trying to find out there was an install problem with the video game I was trying to load on Steam, and so I went to the Reddit for it. And on the thread about the installation problem, people were arguing about why there are multiple genders and why non-binary is a defendable thing. And I was like, that's enough internet for me today. Goodbye.
I just want to make it clear to everyone, I am not a Redditor. I only have that Reddit account because of the feminist subreddit. Okay?
You are digging it deeper, bro.
I literally do spend almost no time on Reddit.
You should
I'm not a Redditor.
Screen share right now and delete that account so that we know that you're.
I can do it. I'll do it right now if you want.
Nick, bro, this is an intervention, my man. You got a lot of living to do, and it can't do it on Reddit.
Tank, don't you have work tomorrow? Do you want to get the show over with or not?
Yes, I do.
We're going to get through these memes. I will say this. I'll give you a word of advice, Nick. Be a better cook than your wife, and she will never have power over you. So she can make you a sandwich all she wants. But don't give your power away. That's all I'm saying.
And remember, when it comes time to slap a woman, slap gently and stare firmly.
Oh my
Not the other way around.
This is some Sean Connery shit we're on now.
Slap gently, stare firmly, not the other way around. That's how you do
Why can't we
it.
go back to the days where men were allowed to beat their wives if they burned it?
There goes the channel, boys. It's been real. Thanks for everyone who hung out with us.
It's been a good run, Tank. It's been a good run.
It's been a good run. But we just had a minor come on and threaten to beat women. So what are we gonna do? I mean, we can't come back from this.
Hey, Nick is our future. He's on the right path, friends.
Okay, I was gonna say you've had Yizz on multiple times. If I'm the reason your channel gets taken down, that's sad.
I don't know, man.
Good pun, Josh. Good pun. All right. So, New York Governor Herschel, who wasn't elected but handed the seat, proclaims the vaccine comes from God, and asks those present in the megachurch congregation, "I need you to be my apostles." Literally, she said this. A sitting governor called her supporters apostles and ordered them to spread the news about a medical procedure, in case you were wondering where we were in the civilization cycle.
I like that R.M. McIntyre dude. He is peak Twitter god. He is the alpha supreme of Twitter. He makes the best tweets every day.
I don't get to catch him very often, but he's got decent streams too. Yeah, this is what we're coming to, the holy sacrament of the COVID pass.
What have I been telling you guys about Crusade? It's time.
We should have had the Crusade long ago. It's way overdue.
Most of us know this. When you've got a dress-up party at 2 and a satanic ritual at 4. Cackling murder lady, Epstein Island.
This is dark.
That one was dark.
Oh man.
Oh, you'll like this.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Why should a tricorn hat? What is this?
Yeah, I saw this originally and I thought this was a meme. Like I didn't know Hillary actually did this at first.
She's the chancellor now. I don't know I can't off the top of my head. I can't remember the college, but there's a college in university and
you know who else was a chancellor?
Who, Tank? Who could you possibly be talking about?
There was this guy from history. He became a chancellor, and his name was Adolf Hitler.
He used to be an artist.
I think I've heard of that guy.
Wait, I thought that guy was a African politician.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, I was going to say, because there was an article on Discord and Dragons a few weeks ago. He's a senator in Nigeria, I think.
Yeah.
This timeline is fucked up.
Yeah.
Oh, those who forget history are doomed to become leftist.
Pretty much.
Guys, we're getting in the home stretch. So depending on how we do this, we could be done in probably 20 minutes max.
What?
Max.
No. 5 hours long live stream.
No.
Repeat after me. I am not smarter than Joe Biden.
I think
I am not smarter than Kamala Harris. I am not smarter than Nancy Pelosi. I am not smarter than James Carville. But if I stand back and watch and learn, I will be smarter than I am.
I don't know if this is satire or not.
Yeah, I hope this person doesn't vote.
He has a blue wave in his his name, so it's probably not satire.
He's got a bunch of inner city emojis in his name.
I can open a PDF, so
it says silent amuse. So I mean, maybe. But leftists. There's some leftists that believe that.
Yeah.
I mean, James Carville's so stupid. He was a conservative that became a leftist.
Oh, that guy. I was wondering who the fuck they were talking about.
Yeah.
No, the bald dude. Looks like Mr. Clean.
Oh, him. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Is he like a...
See what?
Like Louisiana or...
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
He's like a Cajun dude or something. Yeah.
I got into an argument with my friend because I reject evolution because it's heteronormative. Are scientists going to make evolution more inclusive, or will they replace it with something else?
Hey, if this what it takes to destroy the stupidity of evolution, go ahead.
I don't know what to say to this. Like, is this satire?
Let it burn. Let it burn. I don't care.
Sometimes you just gotta look at it and let it go.
What do you want to do in the anarcho-commune? Garden, read stories, cook, clean, play cards, teach kids? So basically, you want to be a trad wife. WTF, no! This is the left, guys. Tess Holiday, anorexic battle. Model reveals her eating disorder.
No,
man, she conquered the fuck out of that shit.
Yeah, she beats that eating disorder's ass.
Lord forgive me for laughing at that.
She fucking Auschwitz anorexia, man. Look at this shit.
Woo. Statue honoring those brave men and women who are offended by syrup, books, and cartoons.
This is an actual statue. I'm actually curious where this statue is and what it is for.
Weird, dude. I grew up my whole life as an artist, right? More or less till a while after my 20s, after my first marriage dissolved. I basically got out of doing art stuff. But in any case, artists are freaking weird.
Yes,
they are,
bro.
They are. Most of them are lefties,
bro. Theater kids.
It's rare to find
theater
like
kids,
bro. No.
Yeah. And then here we have, I wish my life was easier. Awesome. According to the leftists.
Oh, I see. Okay. I didn't get it at first.
Okay, so here we have, here we have, guys, we're about to get into deep waters with left-wing memes. I'm probably going to do a little segment into this, little special breaking segment. I talked to Tank about it before we started. But I'm going to start introducing some left-wing memes because they're just too good. They're amazing. So pray for me as I take this long and arduous journey to read this left-wing meme. The absolute state of the right.
Oh my God.
This is
what is this?
Yeah, this is so much this based haha libs utterly BTFO. How can they possibly recover from our ubermensch metric ability? Right-wing meme N-word. And then it's no, the left can't meme. That's too much words for me. It's literally overloading my heckin' what is that? Brain rates. Brainerinos, thank you. And the left-wing meme is fact, logic, creative, originality, dense. Dense theory.
Dense, yeah, it is dense. Yeah.
Artistic touches, scientific studies, and empathetic
This
points.
hurts my brain already.
I know. I'm not going to read the whole thing. It's this, but this is what they think. This is
freedom.
what they think of themselves.
The dude who does Freedom Tunes actually did a video doing this where he fixed left-wing memes. It was pretty funny.
Do they genuinely not understand that the whole point of a meme is something quick that is easy to identify and will spread memetically?
No, they don't. It's literally paragraphs long.
So, next left-wing meme. So, the country that you just happen to be born in is the greatest country in the world, and the religion that you grew up with just happens to be the only true religion, and the economic system you grew under just so happens to be the only viable system. Convenient.
The left sounds like I say a lot on the show. They try to act like so like deep and like philosophical or something, and they're just morons.
They're just morons.
They're just morons.
A moron wrote this.
The principles of this country are the greatest ever developed in the world that they were founded on, not what we do. I have a different religious belief than I did when I was growing up. And
my religion is the true religion. Just putting that out.
And we have our economic system is soft fascism, and I am a laissez-faire market person. So, no, screw you, left-wing meme. And then just from the left, I hate white people. I hope every last one of them of y'all die. Thanks so much for literally proving how much you don't care about ABT anymore, not white.
Yeah, okay. If you used to use, you can't, unless you're like someone from the South and white, you can't use the term y'all.
Yeah,
it's just
exactly.
a
Well,
rule.
That's
no,
cultural appropriation.
To be fair,
Yes.
I don't think that's just white people in the South. I think anybody in the South that's actually Southern should say y'all. It's pretty
Yeah.
common.
Anyway, unless you're from the South, you cannot say y'all.
I feel like it's the most Southern thing I say because I don't really have much of a Southern accent at all, unless
Yeah,
unless
me
I go up
neither.
north, and then they think I'm Southern, but which is weird. But whatever.
You have a North Appalachian accent.
Yeah, because that's where I'm from.
Yeah.
I'm from Western Maryland, in which is still the South, and in Appalachia. I
And I
literally
hope Neil Young will
grew up,
remember.
20 miles, if that, from the Appalachian Trail. So
Yeah, you
Well,
sound like
man,
you're
don't
from
need
where
him
you're from,
around.
Bill.
yeah,
Because
yeah. I
some
probably
of
have
my
a
some of my
slight Baltimore thing going on, and
Yeah.
it's probably not a lot, but it's probably slightly there.
Because some of my extended family that are from the border of Kentucky and West Virginia, they sound like you.
Yeah, well, there's the funny thing is there's a lot of folk in my area that are real, that actually do have the more like hicky, rednecky kind of accent. And then the town I grew up in, Hagerstown, is a real ghetto. So I always thought of the area as redneck ghetto. It's this interesting mix. Probably the alliance we're going to have in the future. More left-wing memes, guys. Breaking news. 50 of the biggest companies in Texas sign a letter blasting Governor Abbott abortion, saying that he not only does it violate their values, it's also hurting their profits, and it threatens the health of customers and workers. Yeah. And I like how it says abortion saves lives in the background.
I think someone had a good take on this. The left always makes the argument that if you make abortion illegal, it'll be more dangerous for them. And there was some video I saw where it's like this guy's like, good. Like,
Yeah,
that's
I
a
mean,
good thing.
I know this says Occupy Democrats at the bottom, but this might be I know there are like Discords that make these crazy memes and all, or Instagram accounts, and often they're people trolling the left by putting these stupid things out. So I don't know, but
I don't doubt for a second that a leftist put this out.
yeah. So, based on emotion, never original, not funny, mostly straw man. Too many words because they have to try to explain the new reality that they're trying to impose on the average person, even though it makes no sense. Leftist memes. And speaking of leftists and the crazy things they do, we're almost out, guys. We have this, stopantisemitism.org. Thomas Massey. I'm sure him and his farm and his self-sustainable area he's anti-Semitic. This is our anti-Semite of the week. Only are to vote against the Iron Defense Dome. Yeah, because he doesn't vote for foreign aid. The only are to vote against BDS and anti-Semitism. Well, if it's wrapped up in the bill, yeah, he's not going to vote for it. Voted against Holocaust education. What?
Yeah, press X to doubt.
Yeah,
man, I'm liking this guy. Who is this guy? I'm liking all these points.
Oh, you don't know who Thomas Massey is?
I'm just joking.
The name's
Bill. I know who this man is.
Okay, but say, I would hope so. And voted against Holocaust, they trivializes Holocaust with a vile COVID comparison. Anti-Semite of the week. And then we had this, which was just great.
Blowback whatever you do. I mean, frankly, whatever you do, you get blowback. And today there's more blowback on whether you've been pushing for the great replacement theory. And you said that this was going to happen on your show last night. Sure enough, on cue, the ADL comes out and comes after you. And I wonder,
so I'm not on.
I know. I don't even want to be the one to tell you because you do a good job of avoiding
I didn't even
it.
know that. I mean, what
They want you to be
liar.
fired. They're pushing yet again for you to be fired, Tucker. It's constant.
I just libertied all over myself.
Yeah. 1.21 give a fucks. This is going to require a fucks capacitor.
Holy shit.
Excellent meme craft, Bill. Very well done.
Oh, like I said, I rarely make them. I just mine them, but I do organize them to weave the narrative that I do. And it's been hard to do tonight because there's been so much chatter, but it's okay, guys, because it's been a fun show. Just remember, guys, all the leftist stuff, when oppressed people around the world express their desire for a better life, note the symbol they pick. And it's because of what it stands for. We may not live up to these ideals. We maybe never have. It doesn't matter. We should strive to, and that's the nation we should be.
Yep.
So, how about this?
Imagine a world without
liberalism.
I imagine it every day.
Now, I'm no based monarchist. I'm an actual liberal, not the modern leftist, type. But still, yeah, I'm sure it was a much better world in many ways. And, at least their infrastructure wasn't crumbling all around them constantly, even though they warred quite a bit. But yeah, and this is what it's really about, guys. So reject soy and embrace Chad.
Based.
Yeah. So, although Chad may be a meme or a joke to most people, in reality is a vision for yourself that you want to see. In order to truly call yourself a Chad, you must be the man that you really want to be. For most people, this will never be achieved, which is why the concept on constant improvement should always be prevalent in your life. If being a Chad is your goal in life, ask yourself, what am I doing today that is helping me get closer to the end goal? This could be hitting the gym 5-6 days a week, yada, yada, yada. It goes on. You guys know that watch regularly. This is what I do at the end of the streams. I try to give you some hope, some inspiration, and some leadership, some things to do, because it's what you need to do. By the way, Nick, when you ever get around to dating, if you want to learn how to date like a man and how to flirt properly, you meet girls, call yourself Chad, jokingly. They like it. Trust me.
Also,
what's your name?
Yeah.
So,
also,
go ahead.
No, it's fine. We'll just move on.
What were you gonna say? Yes, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say he needs to learn how to talk properly. That's all.
I might not.
He's but a young man. Give him some time. You know what else is young once?
The only reason why I said that though, Nick, is because there's a severe issue with fathers never teaching their sons how to properly date or how to engage with women. So, at least us Gen X.
You know what my dad told me? My dad said, son, don't ever in your life speak to a woman.
Tank. Who was right. Tank? Who was young once?
Adolf Hitler.
Exactly.
How to be mentally strong. Don't fear alone time. Don't dwell on the past. Don't feel the world owes you. Don't expect immediate results. That's very important. Patience with life, guys. Don't fear calculated risk. Don't give up after failure. Don't try to please everyone. That's a huge one that I had to learn the hard way. Not because I was trying to be a people pleaser, but because I grew up, my father's a minister and stuff. I grew up in the church, and basically it was very instilled in me to put myself last, to be selfless. And that's not the right approach. You can't do that. You need to help other people out, but you got to take care of yourself first. Don't waste time feeling sorry for yourself. That's a huge one people waste time on. You are literally crushing your spirit when you do that. Don't waste energy on things you can't control. That's another one. There are many things outside of your control. Just move on. Move on. And folks, I'm here to tell you, if you want to get based, you need to start eating meat. There are no based vegans. It doesn't exist. Sorry. There might be like half-based vegans, but I don't think there's no real fully based vegans. And it's because we're meant to eat meat. And when you don't eat meat, you know what happens? You go insane. You get mentally ill. So
and even worse, you become a pussy.
Look at that vegan teacher. You think she's mentally well up there?
You actually, you're not wrong, Yizz, because you actually, if you don't get enough fat in your diet, your hormone levels will go down. And also, if you're not getting enough protein, the proper amount of protein, essential nutrients, vitamins, all that stuff, your endocrine system will shut down in other ways. Thyroid will shut down. You'll be an effeminate male. What are they? Try guys, you know.
And you won't have optimal bone and muscle density.
Right. And of course, none of this is new news, but apparently a Swedish study says we got it all wrong, as the World Economic Forum, the World Health Organization has promoted vegan diets for infants and nursing and pregnant mothers, which is insane. Oh yeah, because they had a panel. You know why?
I want Trump to issue death warrants for all these people.
I want them.
They did that by vote. No. They had a panel vote on it, and it was like 4-2 of 6 people, something like that. And 4 of the people were vegans, so they said, "Yep, it's fine."
The World Economic Forum, you know, they pushed the stuff as well, so you weren't wrong to bring them up.
Yeah.
No, they want us to eat bugs. Technically, that's not vegan.
Guys, fun fact also. People who eat bacon are less likely to blow themselves up.
That's actually 100% true.
And this is what's happened. See, we talked about this earlier in the show about around 1970. This is actually when things really got put into place. Now, it was put into place before that when the UN was set up. We had the global government, but it wasn't really active. Once we got in with communist China and we changed all these things, they had the McGovern report, which was about the dietary programming of the food. Like who in the government? Why would you listen to the government in the first place? What food to eat? But they did all that, and this is what's happened, guys.
That's me on the bottom left there.
Where? That's you with the
with the hands up.
Oh, okay.
It's me.
And do you remember learning about the photograph in school? Probably not. On August 23rd, 1989, around 2 million people from Latvia, Estonia, and Lithuania formed a human chain that joined the 3 countries to show the world their desire to get rid of the Soviet Union and communism, because it only brought misery and poverty wherever it spread. This human lane extended for 600 kilometers. Incredible moments against the left are erased from our history by people controlling the education and media.
But they'll never shut up about the fucking Holocaust and slavery, though.
Right. Well, yeah, because they have to guilt you into everything. Like anyone in the West had anything to do with the Holocaust other than
it's such a weird thing. Like why am I reading 500 books on this? Like it's my fault or something.
Exactly.
Well, you know what? Here comes the union. Rednecks and ghettos. Redneck Ghetto Union. That's the way to go.
I have my doubts about that, but it would be badass if that's what happened.
And guys, next time you're feeling down, remember, life is all about perspective. I have a friend who has sex 2 to 3 times a day, exercises twice a day, reads 2 books a week, yet every day he complains about how much he hates prison.
That's true. Everything except the books part is good.
All right, this kids have tried to send me this, but I already had it actually. It says, "Be me, a 29-year-old Hispanic, publicly gay, non-binary. I'm neither of these things. I don't want sex or relationships with men, I guess,
or just at all."
yeah. Maybe he's asexual, whatever. I don't know. I don't understand that. But anyways, earned a gender studies degree on the side so I could understand my enemy's ideology and logic. Became a diversity, equity, and inclusion officer for hire. U.S. companies are chomping at the bit for people like me. Companies are hiring me anywhere between 100,000 and 200,000, depending on company size. Immediately get to work. Orchestrate the HR to make the most inflammatory anti-white propaganda to infuriate the white majority company and result in loss of motivation and workforce. In hiring, I purposely suggest the most incompetent, underqualified minorities who apply for positions laugh as the company goes downhill. No one blames me for it because they don't want to be racist, or some kind of phobic. Been doing this 6 years, caused 4 companies to go under, slowly but effectively damaging the credibility of diversity, equity, and inclusion practices in the corporate space. Gotta say, lads, feels good to both ruin the cause of my ideological foes and make bank. I'll get to enjoy retirement comfortably in another 60 years at this rate, and maybe another 4 or 5 companies' death under my belt. It says, what are you fags doing?
Disavow.
How many more we got?
I got one here. Oh man, that didn't show up in the.
I have 2 that I wanted to share tonight. Remember, I'm
gonna have to cut out.
You can cut out, Tank. I got it, man.
Well, can we show the 2 I wanted Tank to see tonight?
I mean, I'm almost there, man. I'm like,
okay.
I had this. This is quick. We don't really need sound for this, actually.
No, we don't need sound for that.
But boys, you got to stay away from the thoughts. You got to stay focused. You got to train like a ninja.
That's how you do it, right there. Bitch, get away from me.
I hope this ends with him slapping her.
You must remain stoic. All right. Potential mate. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Based.
Yeah. Fellas, get a girl unvaccinated. You ain't got to take her out, and she's not allowed in the club. Just saying.
Hell yeah.
There you go.
And, oh, wait a minute. Where did it? There it is. It got out of place. And, so this is one yesterday.
This is for you, Tank.
So you see, that's where the trouble began. That smile. That damn smile.
And then the other one I wanted to share, I linked in the private chat earlier, the Twitter link there. The one that says, I made this one, meant to share it earlier. It's in the StreamYard private
okay, I see it. Yes, just give me a second here.
I was pretty proud of this one.
I can't even see this whole thing. Yeah, for me to get that in, I'm gonna have to do some stuff. So it's so big on my. It's basically taking up my whole screen. For
I'm
reason.
sorry. Okay,
it's all right. So guys, if you do get a lady, don't forget to get her like a gift. And ladies like music, so get her a good musical disc. And the holidays are coming up, so Christmas music's important. And I suggest "Hanging for the Holidays" by Jeffrey Epstein, who did not kill himself. And of course, on this album, you can find great hits like this.
请全体起立。We're no strangers to love. You know the rules, and so do I. You wouldn't get this from any other guy. I just want to tell you how I feel. Gotta make you understand. I'm never gonna give you up. I'm never gonna let you down. Never gonna run.
Oh, I understand it better now.
Desert you. Never gonna make you cry. Never gonna say goodbye. Never gonna tell a lie. Never gonna hurt you. Here we go. Never gonna get, never gonna get, never gonna get, never gonna get, yeah. Never gonna get, never gonna get, never gonna get, never gonna get, yeah.
That's it.
That was.
I actually missed one of my own because I didn't get in order there because I didn't refresh it before we started, but that's all right. Thanks guys for joining. I gotta go because I got to eat and I gotta take care of my daughter. I think my mom just left because she was doing that for me. So sorry the stream was forever tanked today, but
it's okay.
You can blame Yizz and
I will.
and Big Nick.
I will. I'll do both those things.
Yeah, guys, show yourselves real quick.
Do you want to go first? Or do you want me to do it? I'll just do it, I guess. You can find me. You can find my YouTube channel linked in the description below. If you go there, you can also find most of my social media is linked on my YouTube videos and whatnot. Rumble, Entropy, all my other social medias. And hey, if you want to follow me on Twitter, any single ladies want to hit me up, the DMs
Hell
are
yeah.
open. Just letting you know.
And I promise you, he's a good man. He will outgrow that voice.
I get like 30-year-old women hitting me up on Instagram, and I'm just
Say
like,
no.
That's
Say
why
no.
I'm like, no.
Also, I want you to keep in mind, you will not be fully cephalized until 24 to 27. So don't even think about getting a wife and doing all that shit. You got to make the best you can. You got like 6 more years to make yourself super smart, educated, combat ready alpha Chad.
Yeah, I agree with you on that, Yizz. Like, see, yeah, I downloaded that meme. I was going to try and pull it up that you made, Yizz, but I don't even know where it downloaded on my computer.
It's all right.
Yeah, that's really important. I tell most people that, because people marry off too young and that prefrontal cortex isn't developed, and all of a sudden they're a different person overnight when they're like 25, 26 years old. And that's not good. But pairing off young can be good too. It's more important for the ladies to pair off young. But in any case, guys, I appreciate y'all being here. Thank you so much for everything. Do we have any super chats we missed? Any or donations, I should say?
I don't think so.
No.
We got the last one from Crown Target for 10 earlier.
Okay, cool. Well, guys, thank you for being here and joining us for almost 3 hours tonight. We are live every Wednesday at 7 p.m. If you haven't already, please hit that like button, share, subscribe. You know the thing. And with that, this has been the Ends Justify the Memes. And remember, the ends always justify those memes. Play outro, bud.